All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Power BI session. My name is Lakshmi Shrikant. I work with Prabhas for quite some time right now, close to around 12 years, and both of us, like, we work together in terms of training people on Microsoft and the Power BI application. And Power BI, I take up the Power BI sessions. Um, and to give a little bit of introduction about me, I'm a basically a mechanical engineer, and then just completed my MBA HR as well. Just you know working with working on different projects, and then so passionate about having a MBA degree in the HR side. So just recently finished, and I was training people on the Microsoft and the Power BI applications for the past 12 years, and it's a good journey. I've met different people from different domains, and in fact, I wouldn't say that this is a kind of trainer and trainee session, but I usually keep this as a kind of a knowledge sharing session, so that you know um, you guys can take this as a knowledge sharing, and then it's just like an interactive session. Like you guys also can ask questions, and you can talk in between, and any questions you have in between, you can just stop me and let me know. So this is how the session goes in, and that is what my expectations as well. And apart from that, the basic expectations, something like try to stay focused, since it is um, a public workshop. What I would say, um, keep try to keep your internet and everything. I mean, it is not in your hands, but I would definitely say just try to see if there is a stable network, so that you are not losing anything. Of course, there is a recorded session, but however, a live session is much more better, right? And I would also say try to follow along with me, so that no one is lacking behind, and then no one is consuming others time as well. So that's the basic points that I just want to explain on the call. And apart from that, there is nothing else. You feel free to question me anytime, anything if you don't understand. And if I'm going too fast, do let me know. I'll try to slow down, and usually I'll go in a little bit slow pace. Don't take it like I might not be able to cover the course. I will be covering up, because initially, just to make you understand, we might be a little slow, but on the upcoming sessions it would be like you can run faster along with me. Okay, so till the time, it's just till the time you get the hands-on experience on the options. So once you're good, you will better know when I say an option, you will automatically identify, and then you can do it. So that is how it goes in. So don't um, try to judge yourself that you're going very slow in the very first session. So let's keep it simple, because what I'm expecting, this is you're new to the Power BI, and then you want to learn more about it, or you might be a user and you want to refresh the skills, whatever be the scenario. But let's move in the slow pace in the beginning, and then it keeps going faster in the next sessions. So those are my ground rules, and then expectations, and my notes. So with that, I'll give a pause, and I'll give chance to you guys to introduce yourself, and do be clear, very clear about if you have got any hands-on experience on the Power BI, or are you brand new to the tool, and how good you are at MS Excel. Um, of course, yes, this is a Power BI session, but just wanted to understand how good you are at your MS Excel skills, so that it gives me an understanding how can I connect the examples to you, so that you can correlate and then understand it very quickly in terms of the Power BI. Okay, so I'll put a pause, and then okay, let me start with Aditya.
Yeah, hi, good morning, Shrikant. I'm Aditya
Good morning.
Paliwal. I work with a non-bank finance company. I have already done Excel course with Prabhas, and
Nice.
I am a consumer of Power BI. Like our business intelligence team is preparing data in Power BI, so all backend data is, and we are the front end users. So I just wanted to have understand the entire ecosystem of this Power BI.
Mhm.
That is the reason why I joined this course or module.
Sure, definitely. I'll give my best on this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hi. I'm Kalpana here. So I work for an investment bank, and today I wanted to kind of learn Power BI for reporting purposes. So I usually a lot of analysis is involved in my reporting day-to-day activities. So I thought as a value add, if I learn Power BI, it would be useful. So I also have learned a bit of Power BI through Coursera. So I've completed that as well. And with regards to Excel, yes, I use it to an extent, of course, not macros, but the rest, pivots and all those things I use.
Okay, good. Are you from Karnataka or Tamil Nadu?
Tamil Nadu. I'm from Chennai.
Okay, good. Thank you, Kalpana.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Rajesh. Yeah, go ahead, Kamal.
Yes, hi. So my name is Kamal, and Power BI is something I'm using it, but not like a developer.
Hmm.
So the tool, we have the multiple reports, we consume the reports, and probably in this I want to learn how I can probably develop a Power BI dashboard myself also, and uh, and the data whatever is there, how we can interpret and make different uh, reports or different dashboards we can make out of that. And Excel also I have already used. I mean the macro I don't use. Other than the macro, I use multiple formulas whatever I have it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, hello, I'm Rajesh, working in the CRM industry. So basically, you have to understand more about Power BI, and I think that will be helpful for me, for me in my in the job aspect. Plus, I'm not too good at Excel, so I don't know the basic features of Power BI and how it works. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Just give me around a minute. I'm looking out for one particular file so that I can bring it. I guess this is the one. And by the way, while I talk about this, so have you guys received a folder with all the data sets?
Yes,
Yes,
we received a zip file yesterday.
Perfect. The zip file should have a folder with images, and there should be around 9 different Excel files.
that's right.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Absolutely okay. And what I would request everyone, do not, I mean, after you download it, do not directly open that. Try to extract the files and then create a folder separately, whatever be the location which is feasible to you, and then use that particular folder. Do not try to attempt anything directly from the zip folder. Reason being, at a certain point in time, when you start working on this, and at certain point, right, so the file might get crashed because it is not coming from a proper source. It is coming from the read only source. So there would be a lot of chance that you might lose your entire report while you're creating. So I would request everyone to download the zip folder and then right click on that, extract all the contents, and then create a folder, dump everything over there. That is pretty important. So just do it for a minute while I'm looking out for one particular presentation. I just want to bring it on the screen. Okay, let me try my best here. You should be having it here. Huh, this is a better one.
So Srikant, the laptop which I am using is a Dell laptop.
Kamal, I lost you in between again.
Not Kamal. I think, are you sharing something?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Am I audible, Srikant?
Aditya. Yes,
So Shrikant, the laptop which I am using is having student version of Microsoft, while my official laptop is having 365. So which one should I use for this?
I would recommend to use Microsoft 365. But again, let me go around the table for everyone. First thing, in order to use the Power BI, okay, so either it is a consumer side or either it is a reporter side, whatever be the case, right? Uh, if you everyone are using personal laptops, right, or official laptop, what I would say, you should be having Microsoft Store in your laptops. In the Microsoft Store, okay, usually what I would recommend, let me look at this one. Let me share my screen for a minute. I'll show you what I'm talking. Hope you are able to see my screen, everyone.
Not yet.
Is it visible now? Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Not
Not for
yet, sir.
me.
Oh my god. Wait, let me try this. Screen window. Okay. How about now?
Yes.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you should be having Microsoft Store on your laptops. What I would recommend is if you click on the Microsoft Store and then go to the store and in the search box, search for the Power BI and you will see a version called the Power BI desktop. So ensure you are installing the Power BI desktop or you are using the Power BI desktop using the Microsoft Store. That's my recommendation. If it is already installed, you don't need to worry about that. Don't need to, absolutely don't worry. So just wanted to show you this. And again, there is a difference between a personal laptop and an official laptop. Just in case, if you are using a personal laptop, right, what is going to happen? The entire session, what we are going to teach you, everything will work fine. So there is no doubt about it. But again, sharing of the report online and everything will not be possible with a individual login. It will only be possible with your official login. Of course, I'll give you the differences, but this is my first recommendation or option that I would just want to check with you guys. So let me know if you are having the Power BI desktop application installed on your standalone machines.
No, I have just started downloading it.
I have also just
Okay,
started
no
only.
problem. No problem. No problem. If
Uh,
you're just doing it, do it.
I have installed actually, but the login ID I haven't given. I just the sign in which I'm talking about. So is that fine? Because sign in is asking for either a school or a work account, and I'm it's we have company policies, right? So I don't want to give any company ID there.
No issues at all. You can just ignore it and then you can directly get onto the screen.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So I have the Power BI desktop app. That's the one, right?
Right. This is
Yeah.
the one. This is how it should look like.
One moment. Yeah, it's the same. Yes.
Perfect. Of course, we'll talk about it. Don't worry.
Sure, sure.
Let's give time to the other three people.
Yeah, sure.
So everyone are comfortable in Hindi and English?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. How about you, Kalpana?
Yes,
Yeah,
I am
both
also
are
fine.
fine, but yes, English is preferable.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
same. Like, I don't speak Hindi.
Yeah, I know Hindi, but
Hey,
yeah.
Rajesh, you are from which place?
I'm from Kerala.
Very good. Kalpana is from Chennai. Aditya, you are from Maharashtra or somewhere? Okay, let him
Yes, I am.
answer.
Yeah,
You are from
Mumbai.
Mumbai. Good guess. Kamal?
I'm from Odisha.
Ah, okay. Wow. Orissa, Kerala, Chennai. Right.
Good coverage.
Very good coverage, in fact. The good point is that I have touched based all these states. So for me, it's easier.
Oh, good.
Okay, let that get downloaded. No problem. So meanwhile, let me get you back with my presentation. Um, Ignore the dates and everything on the screen because I sometimes I'm bit little bit lazy to update my presentation, but not the Power BI knowledge. So bear with me sometimes, okay? So ignore the dates and everything. Well, these modules are also, I'm just gonna skip. I don't wanna look at that. Right. So coming back to the Power BI introduction of the Power BI. So I'm not going to talk anything about which is there on the slide, but let me ask the same question back to you guys. Like, what do you think about the Power BI? So what I heard, someone is a consumer and someone is creating the reports or wish to create the report, and then the other person who heard about it but doesn't have a prior knowledge. So what do you think is a Power BI, and why do you think a Power BI is required right now in the current market, and why, what makes you to um, think about the Power BI?
Okay.
So
Uh,
basically, it is more of a, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
go
Yeah,
ahead.
go
please go
ahead,
ahead,
go ahead.
Aditya. Please go ahead.
So basically, what I have like given to understand that Power BI is a visualization tool. So in the back end, we have this entire data and multiple variables. And on a real-time basis, they are appearing on my screen via Power BI. While in Excel,
Mhm,
I'll have to create charts and everything or dashboards. While
mhm.
Power BI is a tool which showcase the data on real-time basis.
Right. Good. Yes, Kalpana.
Yeah, so my understanding is Power BI is basically an interactive tool which pulls data from various sources, and the plus is, it can be refreshed. It kind of an automated tool so that it is useful to give us a analysis at any point of time.
Hmm. All right, that's good.
Probably what addition to what they have already said, you don't have to share this report on everyday basis with anybody. Just give the access to others, whoever wants, and they can see the data at the real-time basis. Once the data is available, I mean, get updated, it will get available for everybody to access it. So you don't have to
Right.
share the report on day-to-day, everyday basis with anyone.
Okay, that's good. All right. So all these answers are absolutely true. What you have got a good understanding. Yes, Power BI is a visualization tool, but more importantly, to talk about why Power BI and why not other tools right now in the market. So two things. See, maybe I think I would say it this way: a person who rides a bicycle, okay, a person who rides the bicycle for around 5 to 6 years, right? Whatever be the age, it doesn't matter. When you know how to ride a bicycle, and when I bring you a bike on the later stage, it becomes quite easier for you because you know exactly what to control. It all depends upon balancing the bike or balancing the bicycle. That's the important point. Rest changes. On bicycle you might have manual brakes and everything, and here yes you will also have the manual brakes, but the systems are a little different. So some these are high level when you come to the bike, but when you come to the cycle they are low level, right? So that's the only thing. So the bike will have an auto mechanism, this cycle will have a pedal mechanism where you are self driving. So just understand, when you know how to ride the bicycle, bike becomes much easier. Let's say, for example, you never ride the bicycle in your life. For the very first time, your hands-on experience started directly on the bike. So during that time, it takes a bit time for you to get used to the handle and then balancing part and then applying your brakes mind everywhere. So it becomes little, not, I would say it is not so tedious, but it becomes a little difficult. Okay, this is a high level basic example that I'm talking about. So why I'm talking about this particular example is, if you know Excel, Power BI becomes much easier for you. Okay, if you know Excel, Power BI becomes more and more easier for you. Let's say you don't have a hands-on experience on the Excel application at all, so Power BI also becomes easier, but as said, it takes a little bit time to just get adjusted to that environment. That is the first main reason why Power BI becomes very, very popular in the market, because most of the Excel users, right from the time you start your job, I think you would have got a beautiful professional journey so far in all the years. And in all these years, you would have used Excel. You some hardly one or two people might have used any other different application like Open Text Source or Google Sheets, right? But more or less, a person who is really good at electronic spreadsheet, maintaining his data, doing some sort of stuff like data arrangements or data sorting, cleansing, or any other stuff, right? So a person who does everything on an Excel spreadsheet or electronic spreadsheets, for those people, this Power BI becomes more and more easier. And that's the reason why it is one of the most popular tool or visualization tool in the market. That's the reason why everyone bound to use Power BI. Okay, so because it's a quick learn, I mean, it makes your life very easier, and it is so quicker. Like how we are using an Excel, it becomes much easier here. All the options are very good. However, when you talk about the Power BI in terms of keeping it in a simple way to define, it's a collection of a software application services and connectors, because it has got multiple connectors, multiple applications, and multiple services. So that is what we are going to take a look at that. And also, um, like Aditya, you have mentioned, like Power BI is the front end visualization tool, but on the back end, everything goes and works on the Power Query. Okay, so that's our main database where we are going to work on more. So, on a nutshell, to say, it's a combination of Power Pivot, Power Query, Power View, and Power Maps. All these comes under one particular simple, strong package. Comes as a Power BI application. Okay. So when you talk about the Power BI, it's not just only the Power BI as a front end tool will be known to everyone. It has got different applications as well. So the major important thing where people will be talking about, one is Power BI desktop and another is online SaaS application. Third is mobile application. Well, we'll be talking about all these three. So right now, the entire session will be trained on how to create any report in the Power BI desktop application. That's the main area where we are going to focus. And online SaaS application, again, it depends. So usually why we don't do it on the public workshop, it is not that we don't want to recommend, it is that sometimes you may or may not be comfortable using your official logins. But however, this only works on the official login. So that is the reason why we try to keep it little bit away. But any questions on that, I'll definitely am happy to clarify. So nothing to worry about that. But other than that, what do you have? You have a Power BI Pro Premium and then Pro Builder. So these are different kinds of applications that we have within the Power BI. However, the more and frequent and the most important one, what we are going to work on is on the Windows desktop application. So Power BI as a powerful tool can be connected to a different kinds of applications like IoT, which is called Internet of Things, or Salesforce, or Google Analytics, or most likely what we can say an standalone Excel applications, or PDF documents, or TXT documents, CSV files, and SAP or Oracle. any data source it can get connected to. So there are a lot of data sources. So since the time it evolved, and even if you take it till latest 2024 April, right, you could see it can be connected to numerous applications. However, not necessary that everyone have to connect everyone every application. So the most frequent applications that you would be using, you can connect your data to. So talking about the workflow of the Power BI, I'm just keeping it pretty simple. I'm not complicating it, because this is what you have to understand on a very, very, very high level. Okay. And there are deeper insights of it. So left hand side talks about the data sources where you can connect your Power BI desktop application. And on the right hand side, after you have connected your data sets, the most important thing will be your kind of workflow. What exactly the workflow is, how you are going to work on a step-by-step procedure right from the data that you are getting connected to. So the first thing, the first step in always involves is transforming and cleaning of your data. Okay. And once after your data is cleaned, then you are going to create a data model out of it. After the data model is being created, then you are going to create the visualization. And once the visualization is completed, then you are going to create a report. Okay, so this is a basic procedure that you are going to work. This is not a rocket science. See, when you are working in terms of the Power BI desktop application, you will definitely understand this way. Yes, the step-by-step procedure will be little different. Okay, but if you look at your life example, it is the same thing. It is the same thing. What you're just going to do is you take up any object that it has been created in front of you. It would have been undergone a lot of different steps and procedures, and then it would have been out like a beautiful object in front of you, right? Let's say if you take an example of a chair. A chair is not just created like that. You are bringing a wood, cutting it into pieces, and then again you are assembling it, and then again you do different kinds of procedures that needs to make sure that it is strong. And then you are adding visualizations are nothing but you are adding paintings, colors, or different kinds of maybe cloth and everything, and then presentable. That is where you are creating a beautiful object like a chair which is coming in front of you. Similarly, this is the same thing when it happens to your data. Your data is being taken from where? Nowhere. You are just taking it raw data, and then you are just cleaning everything which is required, which is not required. And then you have certain model in your mind, like how you want to create the report. That is where your data model comes in. After the data model comes in, you're creating the visualization, keeping your efforts, creativity, everything onto the visualization. And finally, you're submitting that like in terms of a report. That is how the workflow of the Power BI works in. Okay. This is the layout of the Power BI desktop application. Of course, we are going to talk about it and then work on that very soon. However, the most important points that we are going to talk right now. So on the left hand side, we have three different options, what we call it as report and data tables. And then we have, sorry. So one, we have got the report and then data, data tables. And then we have um, probably, I would say, a model. Okay. So these are the main three different areas that we are going to work on more importantly. So initially, the first thing you're going to learn is on the modeling side, and then you'll talk about the data tables. And once the data tables are completed, then you're going to talk about the report view. So all your visualizations will be done on the reporting side, and data table will allow you to see whatever the different kinds of tables that you have created, and model view will help you to see how the relationships can be established between two or three different tables. And that is what this entire package is coming as a Power BI desktop. This slide here talks about the different multiple data sources which are provided by the Power BI. However, as I told you, like these are not limited to something, but yes, there is a lot and lot of data sources that you can able to get connected and then finish and then finalize your data and then start creating the visualizations. Of course, yes, this is how we are just going to work on. This is just a glimpse to make you understand what are the different kinds of visualizations we have. Uh, in terms of Excel or PowerPoint or Word document, uh, you would be using the terminology called the charts. So charts and the visualizations are one and the same. However, we call it as visuals in the Power BI, but on the other applications, we call it as chart. So better I switch to the word, sorry, I switched to the word called visualizations, and henceforth we'll try talking about the visualization. That just in case if you're still not comfortable, always think that a chart is nothing but a visuals in Power BI. There are custom charts and there are there are custom visualizations and then regular visualizations, but nothing to worry. I'll let you know how you can able to do that. And most importantly, what we call it as, every participant I met till date, when it comes to the Power BI, when I ask them, like, what do you want to do on the Power BI? The only word that I always, that keeps me crazy from all the audience is dashboard. Uh, Everyone say that, oh, I love to create a dashboard in Power BI. I love to do this. I love to do this way. Well, that's absolutely good, but one needs to understand what is a dashboard in Excel, what is a dashboard in Power BI. Like what we create in an Excel, right? So a dashboard is nothing but you have a space and then you are creating your charts within that. What you are doing, you are creating multiple pivot tables and then you are creating multiple pivot charts, and different styles of the charts have been brought and then arranged according to your creativity and giving connectivity between one chart to the another chart using the slicers, and then you create a simple story out of it, and that is what we call it as a dashboard. However, in Power BI, is that the same way that you are going to do? Well, in a short note to say yes, but there is a difference. Here, we are not going to create any kind of dashboard in desktop application because there is no option to create a dashboard in the desktop application. That's the point one. Then, yes, where do you do the dashboard? Dashboard can be created only on the online service application. Well, that is absolutely okay. How you can create in the online application? See, let's say all four of us are doing one particular project. Uh, let's say we are all together, we are doing, let's say, as an example, you are doing a Zomato project. Okay. So I will assign few modules or few works to Aditya. I'll assign few to Kalpana and few to the other two guys. Okay, sorry, I still didn't get your name, but yeah, uh, I'm just giving all these four different data to four different people, and I asked you to create a report. So four of you have created a report, and then I also created one report. So altogether, there are five reports with me. So what I'll do, I'll take all the five reports and then publish to a common online application where all five of us can able to access. Once it has been published, then what I will do is I will pick two or three visualizations what Aditya have prepared, and two or three different applications, sorry, two or three different visuals what Kamal have prepared, few other visuals where Kalpana have prepared, and then I will collate all this and then pin them at a location and arrange it the way that I wanted to show or I want to see. And that is what we call it as a dashboard. So a dashboard is nothing but you are going to get visuals from different reports and keep it under one particular location as a collection of visuals from different reports. And that is what we call it as a dashboard in the Power BI. Okay, it's nothing, you are not doing anything separately, but this is just a collection of visuals from different reports. So far, what we have done in Excel is you are creating different charts within the Excel workbook and then you are arranging. But here, what we are trying to say, you are collecting the visuals from different reports and then keeping it at one location. That is what we call it as a dashboard. And so a collection of data or a collection of reports together Okay, so we are just going to call it as a report. So a report is nothing but a single, like, just imagine a single workbook having different multiple sheets. Similarly, a Power BI report having multiple pages with the multiple visuals. Okay, and all these are again taken back into a workspace where you are going to publish your report. That is where you are going to create or collectively bring a dashboard out. So this slide here explains about the comparison between the Power BI and the Power BI service. So when I say Power BI service, it's an online application. When you're talking about the left-hand side, it's a Power BI standalone application. So what are the things that you can do on a high level? Yes, you can connect to many data sources and you can do the transforming, shaping, modeling, everything can be created here. And similarly on the Power BI service, yes, you can connect, but not to every data source you can only connect to certain data sources, very limited. And also dashboards are only created in service but not on the desktop application. And of course, yes, you will have different applications and workspaces. Since it is an online application, it serves you a lot of different purposes, and you can sharing of the reports, everything can be done. And the data controlling and sharing of the reports in a secure model will only happen on the service.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just have a doubt here.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this dashboard is something which is done only in the Power BI service. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And is that free as well, just like a desktop app, or how
No,
how does it? o-
it's not a free application. That's what I have told in the very beginning. You need to
Okay.
have an official email ID to log in, which means
Okay.
either you need to have a school account or an organization account.
Uh,
For
okay. Okay.
example, Kalpana have ordered a Microsoft 365 for her personal use. So you will get a Microsoft account for yourself. You can install all these applications in your mobile phone or either your laptop, but that becomes your personal account. You can't use the Power BI to log in with your personal account. You definitely need to have a registered official account through your
Okay.
organization and which requires license.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And what are things in common between these two? Visualizations are the main important things that you can create, and then reports, security, and the filters. All this can be done within both the application. However, as I clearly mentioned, although you can do all this, this is applicable only on the service account but not on the standalone application. Okay. Mm, I'll tell you in the nearby future like what exactly more details about this particular slide. I think that's all I have on the presentation slide. So I'll keep a pause here and let me go back. You guys have any questions so far? Anyone?
Would you be sharing that presentation to us, or can
uh,
we make a note of it?
no, no, I'll be doing it, but after the entire session is completed, all the sessions are completed, so we'll send you as a one package.
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
Probably you might have to wait until then.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Um, Aditya, Kamal, and Rajesh, you guys have any questions?
No.
Are you guys good?
Yes.
No, so far so good.
Okay, good. So we'll continue working on this. Just give me a minute. I'll be back. Let me fill my water and come. All right. So now let's get back to the folder. Right. So as I mentioned, this is what we have right now for the workshop. We have got images folder. We'll talk about it, play around with this on the later stage. Let me give you a background about the data sets we have given, and just I recommend everyone to use this only as an example. Treat this only as an example. Do not get into the realistic information about the data which is enclosed in the Excel files. These are just purely defined only for the practice purpose. So no realistic data. Okay. Don't judge anything based on the data. However, keep this data and treat this data as your data set and try to understand every piece of information within that. Then you will be able to understand what the best you can able to do. So this is only for your practice to make sure that this is how assuming your data sets might be, or might be much worse or much easier on your real-time scenarios, but methodologies and everything will remain the same. I want everyone to concentrate on the methods and the information that how we are going to transform the data. So look on to the methodologies and the stats. So don't try to look at the realistic information. That's my humble request. And let me explain about this. Um, so there is a survey that had happened, and using that survey, so the data, a restaurant data has been pulled out from all the different locations where it is operating globally. And this information has been brought in to see what are the different kinds of data that they have gathered to do some sort of small analytics or analysis based upon the data that has been collected. So just showing you as an example. So there are different restaurant IDs which are being given, which are very unique in nature. So almost there are around 8,849, and country codes are being given, and the city names where they're operating, and what is the address involved, what is the locality, latitude and longitude of the locations, cuisines, and what are the different I mean, as on what is the date, what is the information, that is what we have. So these are the information which is being given. Okay, so this set of information remains the same across all the other regions where the data has been shared for. So all the regions like Asia, Africa, Europe, NAM, SAM, and um, Oceania, right? So all these 6 locations have the database where you can see the workbook structure. When I talk about the workbook structure, total number of columns, column headers, only I'm talking about these two, are remaining same across all the 6 files. Sheet names are different. For example, if I'm opening a file for Oceania, okay, you may notice that the total number of columns which are involved in this particular file, these are 10 different columns, I believe. Right, 10 different columns are there. Okay. Of course, the row total number of rows will vary between file to file. But if you look at the sheet name here, these are differing, right? Only this is differing, but remaining everything remains the same, apart from the total number of rows and the sheet name. The total number of columns and the header names are the same. So that is on the region side. Now, apart from this, there are 3 more files, which is called the country code, currency converter, and the fact table. These are called the supporting files for this information, wherein each supporting file is connected to another supporting file or the region file in one or the other way. Either it is a direct methodology or indirect methodology. However, they are getting connected. So I mean, we have to create the connectivity, but in terms of looking at the data, yes, there is a connectivity between region files and the supporting files, direct and indirectly, both the ways. So you can see here there are restaurant IDs given, and there are extra information wherein each restaurant, what is their average cost currency, and what are the different amenities that they are giving, like table booking or online deliveries or price range, what is the rating which is given by the customers, and what are the total number of the votes, and what is as on information. So a lot of information has been given, so you can just keep this aside. So all this information has been submitted to you in terms of 10 different, I mean 9 different files, and then we are going to work on this. Okay, so the data which has been collected overall across the globe will be now collected, and then we are going to work on this data and then create some sort of statistics for the restaurant to help how the different restaurants are being playing around across the globe. So this is what we are targeting now. Now let's look at the first thing. Since we have all the data which has been given here, first thing what we are going to do is how do we connect this data to the Power BI first, and then how do we play around. So before we go ahead, now can you guys confirm that your Power BI desktop application is ready? I think it should have been downloaded by this time.
Yes, done.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, if everything is very good, then what you guys can do, just open this Power BI application. It takes around a minute to open. Don't worry, just be little patience with that.
It's already opened.
Okay. So once you have opened everyone, you will see the screen like this, the way that I'm showing the screen on my laptop.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So after you do the very first step, like how you work on usually an Excel application, I would recommend the same way is simply just type the control S command. Type control S command. So this will ask you to save the file at a location, right?
Yes.
Now
Yes.
save this at a particular location. Do not save this location in the same place where you have loaded your files. Or if you want to do it, just look at this way. First thing what I'm doing, I will, let's say, when I click on the more options, it will browse or it will ask me browse this device. So I'm using my desktop application and I'll use the public workshop. Rather, what I will do, I will just create some file here, like let's say day one Power BI. You can keep it somewhere outside. And just give a name called the day one and then click on the save so that you can see on the top this changes to the day one PBIX. That's important.
The file name also will give like day one, or file name we should give something different.
File name should be given as day one.
Day one. Okay, it is done.
Yeah, done.
Perfect.
So file name, the name of the file can include hyphen and any other characters also, right? It's same like other applications.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I
so I
gave day
because
one
I
fifth
gave
May.
day one hyphen 5th May, so I just thought of
No
Frost June.
problem. No problem. No problem. All right. So the first thing what we have done, we have just opened the file and then we have just saved the file. Now this way we can sit relaxed that our data is going nowhere and we are good with this. So this is the entire Power BI screen what you're looking at, but today I might definitely disappoint you not making you work on this front end application, but I would definitely guarantee you that I will give you a better understanding about something else within the Power BI. Now, the basic steps. Every time, whenever I say a particular option on the Power BI, you have to follow this particular wording. When I say tab, you are going to focus on the tab here. Home tab, insert tab, modeling tab, view tab, optimize tab, help tab. So whenever you hear the word called the tab, you focus on this particular area to find out the option. That's the first thing. And again, once I say let's go to the view tab. So you will click on the view tab by looking at this portion. And within the view tab, the names what you see here, these are called the groupings. Like themes is a group, scale to fit is a group, mobile is a group, page options is a group. So you will see your focus will be on the group names. So when I say go to the view tab and look for the scale to fit group. So you will click on the view and then you will look for the group option scale to fit. And once you identify, within that you are going to identify that option, whatever I'm going to say, whatever the option. Okay. And sometimes what will happen, for example, in this case, see, when I say go to the view tab, you will go to the view tab. And when I say go to find out the scale to fit group, you will look at the scale to fit group. Within that, if you look at page view option, when I say page view with the drop down, you are going to click on the with the drop down. When I say directly click on the page view, you will directly click on the page view. There are, I mean, not here on this particular option, but there are certain options where a drop down gives you different options, and when you click on the option directly, it will give you another different kinds of option. So I will specifically mention when I talk to you, when I tell you click on the option, you are going to click on the option even if there is a drop down on that, you are going to ignore. When I say click on the view and then go to the scale to fit group and then click on the page view, you are going to click on the view tab, find out the option and click on the option directly. That's it. You're not going to again click on the drop down. When I specifically tell you to click on the drop down, you will have to focus on the drop down. That is what the ground rule for is. So once, so if you are very clear about it, so just see this. Power BI is the front end, but on the backside of the Power BI, you are going to see Power Query. Okay, Power Query is a backend application of the Power BI, wherein it is the place where your entire data is going to get loaded, and you are going to create a you are going to do a certain steps like performing of cleaning of the data or transforming or creating of the data modeling. Everything happens onto the Power Query. Now, the first thing where people usually lag behind in terms of this particular option is when I ask them to go to the Power Query editor, although if I tell them, they usually forget this option. But try to keep this in your mind. When I say from the Power BI, when you are on the Power BI screen, when I ask you to switch to the Power Query screen, your options should go like this. Go to the Home tab, go to the Home tab. Under the Home tab, you will see a group name called Queries. Okay, Home tab, Queries group, click on the Transform Data directly. Home tab, Queries group, Transform Data is the option you need to click. The moment once you click on the transform data, this will directly take you to the Power Query screen. And this is how your Power Query screen will appear. So at any given point in time, when you are on the Power BI and you want to do anything on the query side, simply Home tab, Queries group, Click on the transform data. This will take you to the Power Query screen. So now you guys were able to look at the Power Query editor screen.
Yes.
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 All right. Now, what is Power Query? Okay. So in MS Excel application, there is a Power Query application. In Power BI, there is a Power Query application. But there is a difference between both the applications, both the query. Of course, all the options will remain the same. Almost all the options will remain the same. But since Power BI is a visualization tool, which is a little bit more advanced application, this has got a lot of other options than the existing Power Query application within the MS Office Excel. Okay. But anyways, we are going to not worry about all this. Let's see how we can able to crack with the Power Query editors option within the Power BI. The first thing, since we have got 6 different regions of the file, you might ask me why we are going to load each one of the file one by one, and why can't we do it at one go? See, we are all working in the professional uh, this we are having this professional journey quite some time. So initially when you learn the process, you would be learning step by step. The moment once you're very strong and very good about it, your mind will start thinking smartly, to act very smart. Like, why can't I do it at one go? Why can't I do it at one go? Why can't I do it this way? This is how it usually this is how it works in our mind. Okay. Yes, there is a way where you can load all the files at one go. There is a way where you can do one after the other. But I would recommend one after the other, because since it is a very new, you will learn your mistakes step by step. I don't want you to learn your mistakes all at one go and then get confused. Rather, learn your mistakes also step by step and learn everything in a simple way. Okay. So don't try to get um, you know don't judge for yourself like this is very pretty simple, but you will understand your own mistakes. I'll show you a best example for that. So let's go the first thing. How are you going to load the file? That's the very first thing. Okay. So always do remember, whenever you are going to load the file within the Power Query screen, in the Power Query screen, remember the options Home tab, New Query Group, and click on the drop down of New Source. Home tab, New Query Group, click on the New Source drop down. When you click on the New Source drop down, you will see an option called the Excel workbook. Since we are loading the files from the Excel workbook, I'm using this option. Once again, Home tab, New Query Group, and click on the drop down of New Source. You will see the Excel workbook. So click on the Excel workbook, and now this is how you will see a dialog box appears to show me your Excel file from where I have to pick in. So browse to the Excel file. So I'm just browsing it to the place where I've already placed. And I'm going to deal with the very first file, which is Asia file. So I'm selecting the Asia file and click on the open. When I do this, this will bring a new pop-up box, which is called the page navigator. And let's wait for that. There you go. We have the page navigator. So just let me know if you guys were able to see the same thing.
Yes.
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 Okay. I strongly believe everyone are sitting in front of your laptops. No one is looking at your mobile and then just listening, because that will not give you any kind of flavor. And don't try to tell us that I didn't learn anything. Hope everyone, all the 4 of you are using the laptops.
That's right.
Yes, laptop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. So this is called the page navigator screen, just to give you a high level understanding. See, some things I might not be so practical. It's not that I cannot able to show you. It's a time consuming processes. So that's why certain things I don't do it. So I'll just give you the high level understanding. If you still don't understand, let me know. So what is this page navigator screen, and what is this so important about it? See, if you are having an Excel file with the 10 different worksheets within that, and when you are loading this onto the Power Query editor screen, what generally it will do, it will show you all the 10 different sheet names here. Okay, and you can pick whichever the sheet names, from whichever the sheet you want to pick the data, you can actually pick it. That is up to you. So if there are 10 different sheets, it will show you 10 different tables or sheet names. If there are 3 different sheets, and it will show you 3. If there is only one, it will show you only one. Now, why I'm stressing about this particular point? Because sometimes there could be a situation where you might have to load a single file with multiple sheets, and you want all the data to be onto the Power Query editor screen. So that can be controlled onto the page navigator screen. This is how page navigation screen will appear. Now here is a portion where you can see the sheet name. The sheet name in the Excel file, whatever the sheet name is there, that appears here as a page navigator. So when I gently select this, you can see on the right hand side, whatever the data is there within the Excel spreadsheet, this has been shown as a preview. And now after you see the preview and then see that not everything, you don't need to see everything over here. Just see the data has been loaded. Yes. Then check this box, which is there just before the sheet name, click on OK. This will again take you back to the Power Query editor screen with the data ultimately loaded onto the application. Now just do that and then see if your data is appearing.
Yes, appearing.
Yes, Sampiri.
Perfect.
It also shows me a kind of, you know, I say it, a graphical image as well on the top side.
I'll come back to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Why it doesn't
So
show us? It doesn't
yeah,
show
I'll
graphical.
tell, I'll tell. Don't worry. इनके पास जो भी options है, you will also get the same options.
Okay.
So the first thing, what you are going to see now, it's around 11:05. I would definitely bet you that at least 30 minutes or 40 minutes we are going to spend only on this particular portion. So don't get bored. Try to understand the options here, because that is pretty important. Okay, where no one gives you a kind of a deeper understanding about it, but this is what exactly what you require onto the Power Query editor or the Power BI. So let's start it. On the left hand side, this place where you are showing, this is called the Query Navigator, where the moment right now you have loaded only one Excel file. And so since you have loaded one Excel file, you can see the query name. Under the query, you will see only one particular query. After a while, if you are loading around 5 different files, or let's say 10 different files or 15 different files, all those files data, whatever you are taking up, or a single sheet with a single workbook with multiple sheets, also will come as different queries. So basically, every data that you are loading will come as a single table, and those tables are called nothing but we call it as queries. Okay, either you load a single file with multiple worksheets, will come as multiple queries, or you load multiple data from multiple workbooks, it will also come as multiple queries as well. And the name, what you are going to see here, this is the sheet name that you are going to load from the Excel workbook that you are loading. That becomes as a table here. Now, moving directly onto the very right hand side portion, which is called the query settings. Now, what happens with the query settings? Two things. Not every time you might see the query settings. Not every time you might see the query setting. Sometimes what will happen, you might see an application just like this by looking at this left hand side, you will see the query and then you are going to see the data, but you might not be able to see the query setting. So do not panic about it. It's a very simple way that you need to do. Whenever you want to see the query settings, if it is off and then you want to bring that back, all you need to do is go to the view tab on the top, go to the view tab, under the view tab, under the under the layout group, view tab layout group, there is an option called query setting. Once you select the query setting, this will come back. Again, when you click on the query settings, it will go off. This is like a switch on and switch off. If you do remember, in the pivot table, you will click on this pivot field list, the pivot table layout will appear. If you click on the field list, it goes off. Similarly, when you click on the view tab, layout group, query settings, this portion will appear. Now, the question would be, is it really important that we have to look at the query settings? Pretty important. So that's the reason why, because almost you will be handicapped if you don't have the query settings with you, because sometimes you might really go crazy if you don't have it, because that is half of the time you will spend your life here. Okay, so that's pretty important. So on the query settings, what you will see is the property names. I mean, the name of the table. This is called the Zomato Asia, wherein the sheet name is equivalent to the table name. For instance, you don't do it. You don't do it. I'm just showing you. You don't do it. For example, if I don't want Zomato on this, I just want Asia. So I just adjusted it. And the moment once I hit enter, what you will observe on the left hand side, the name will automatically change. See this. The moment once I hit enter, adjusted the name, you can see the name automatically got changed. Again, if I bring back the name here on the left hand side, if I'm again bringing back the name called the Zomato and give space Asia, what you will see the magic on the right hand side, it will automatically appear. So these two portions are interrelated. Okay, these are interrelated. You change this, this will change, or you change this, this will change. This is the first thing you will identify on the query setting part. The second thing is applied step, which is very important. And now let's talk about it more. I think in the introduction, someone I barely remember, but it might be Aditya, who might have told me that you know Excel, you have worked on the Excel, but you don't know macros, or for that matter, no one else. I'm just still strongly believe. So there is, you don't need to have a prior knowledge of working on a macros in Excel to work on the Power BI. However, I'll tell you what here it happens. There is an option in Microsoft Excel where you can record your static steps, and then you can run that steps every time whenever you have to, you have the opportunity to use it. Okay, but those are like a static things where you're click on the button, you're recording it, and then you stop, the macro will get recording with the codings and everything. Similarly, what you will notice here, you will see whatever the steps you have executed onto this particular table, everything will be updated on a uh, you know turn basis. For instance, when you load the table, right, right from the time that you have loaded the table, which is called the source, now you can see it tells you where you have loaded from. Okay, it shows you the path. Then within the path, when it say you already have identified one Excel file, then within the Excel file it navigated to the sheet. And after that, if you observe in this particular navigation step, the data is being added, but it is giving a static column, like a dynamic column, like column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, etc. And on the third step, it is actually picking up your realistic scenario of taking the data from the first row as the header. And then at this stage, if you again closely watch, when there is a restaurant ID, when there is a country code, when there is a city, the column header name, each one of the column header name, if you observe, you can see it says ABC123, 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 ABC123. And if you go to the right hand side, every data column header, it is representing by ABC123 in this particular step. But when I click on the change type, now what you would be noticing, against each one of the column header, the format of the data type is absolutely getting changed. Now you see the restaurant ID, it is shown as 123, country code 123, city ABC, right? This isn't a beautiful option that you're not investing your time of converting the data into a what type of data format it is, but this is automatically converting the data type format what it should be looking like, and then changing it automatically, right? I feel this is a really cool option on the Power BI. However, I'll tell you the scenarios for this. One, any data table that you are loading from any application outside the application of the Power BI, right? These four steps remain common across all the all the types, all the times when you are loading the data from external Power BI source. When I say external Power BI source, why not internal? Yes, I'll talk about it on the later stage. But whenever you are loading the information from external Power BI, which means either it is a web-based or ERP-based or like CSV or TXT or PDF or Excel, whatever. These steps are pretty common in nature. All the four steps are pretty common. At least I would guarantee you till source and navigation. Source and navigation are 100% will appear in every portion. Promoted headers and change type depends, but it is 97% all these steps will be there. All the four steps will be there by default. 3% you might not see the promoted header or change type based upon the connectivity of the data. So you don't need to worry about it. But why am I stressing about it? Yes, there are two things. Based upon the data, you need to take a call. For instance, in this case, when I am at the promoted header stage, the restaurant ID, country code, city, all these are treated as a general format. So the entire data is not classified into what different forms of the data it is. However, it is just creating a simple understanding that the entire data looks very general, well and good. But again, when you go to the change time, why sometimes I don't recommend this option? If you are hailing from, or let's say you are working in a HR department, or you are working in a procurement department, or you are working in a taxing department, or pricing department, or invoicing department, especially in terms of the banking sector, if you are working, your account numbers, the customer account numbers, or anything, invoices, or the products, or the employee IDs, definitely, yes, there is a possibility that it starts with zero, which is considered to be one of the key element for the accounts identification or identifier, right? Let's say your employee ID might start with zero, or an account number can start with zero, or an invoice number can start with zero. But whenever there is zero, what will happen? In the promoted header, that zero in if there is in the pre-stage, in the initial stage, well and good. But then the moment once it comes to the change time, if the entire column is a number, or let's say for each one of the cell there are numbers, it will auto identify that it is a number format, and the trailing zero will be removed, and you will be into loss. The zero will be removed with when the moment it is converting into a whole number or either a decimal number. Basically anything which is converted into a number, you will lose zero on the front. So that is a reason why sometimes you definitely have to take a call, because you are the owner of your data. You will have the better judgment about to make sure the change type step should be applied or not applied. So in this point in time, like in this case, what I would do, I request everyone to delete this change type. I request everyone to delete the change type. After you delete the change type, what you would be seeing, you will see only these three steps, which is source, navigation, promoted header. However, if I want to change, if I want to change a data type of anything over here, just see what am I doing. Since I know my data very well, so I'm just giving you what only thing which you can change. If you slowly scroll to the right hand side, if you slowly scroll to the right hand side, here there is nothing, no other observation, but you see on the last column where it says as on, right? As on. So I want to change this data type to a date type, this data to be into a date type. So how do I change it? A simple way to change, when you click on this ABC123 of the column name as on, when you click on that ABC123, it drops down a list of options where you can see what kind of data format that you want to change this to. So absolutely, I want to pick the date option. Here you can see the date option. The moment once I click on the date option, you will see there is a step added on the applied step. So this will let you know how your data has been transformed right from the sourcing until the last step, how your data has been transforming. This is what the terminology we call it as transformation of your data. Your data is getting transformed from one particular state to another state. Either it could be reducing of columns or increasing of columns or change of the data type or whatever be the step it is. So here, when I change the data type to date format, you can see there is a step added called the change type. And now you can also observe, now this is in a date format. So confirm me if you guys were able to do it till here.
Yes.
Okay. How about others? Everyone are okay?
Yes.
Perfect. And then now
Sorry,
after this put, yeah,
Srikanth here. So the prompted headers. So we go to the date, and in the date, what you said to do?
after the promoted header, currently, do you see the change type?
Yeah, I deleted that letter first when you said. Then I went here to
Okay.
the date.
Where as on date, before just before the column header name, there is an
Okay.
option here ABC123. Click on that
Yes, yes.
ABC123. You will see multiple options over there.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So change, select the date option within the drop down.
Got it. Okay. Now it got changed.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. So now this is the way that you can change one of the date format or one of the format of the data type within inside the data that you have loaded. So it applies across the same thing. Let's say, for example, you want to change the city name to purely a text. Okay. So all you'll do is to click on this and then click on the text format. It will automatically change to a city, I mean, text format. Okay. You don't need to do, I'm just showing you a kind of like what exactly we can do. Now this is on the right hand side. So left hand side and on the right hand side, you guys were good. Now coming back to the portion which is there on the between, this is more important. Let's go step by step onto that because we have a lot of options that you need to talk about, but let's go one by one. So on the top where you can see the restaurant ID and the country code, city, or these are the column headers. And as I have just mentioned, each column header name will represent what kind of format, data format it is of. So ABC123 will usually relates that it is a general format. But you want to change this specific to any format, you are gonna click on this and then you can choose whatever the specific format that you want to change. So based on that, the moment once you do that, here it will apply the step. So let's say right now we are on the change type. Now after this, I have applied some other step. Again, you wish to change any one of the data format. Again, there will be another change type. Then it will become like change type 1. So whenever you are performing a different task and again you want to change a data type, it automatically brings in like change type 1, change type 2, change type 3, change type 4, and so on. It keeps going on like that. So basically any step that you are creating here under this portion, if it is repeated, it will add the numeric 1 and 2 and 3 as a tree numbers in the suffix. Okay, that's your basic understanding. And now what you can also see when you scroll to the right hand side from the beginning and then to the right hand side, when you scroll and then observe below the column header, below the column header, do you see everything is in a teal color? Do you observe this is in a teal color?
Yes.
Basically, if I say green color, you will notice, but that is not green color, that's a teal color. Okay. So do you see any other color other than the teal color on the data set? Were you able to identify this color first thing? I'm talking about the color here, not on the background. Just below the column header name, there is a bar. That's the teal color I'm talking about.
Yes, that is there.
Yeah.
Now, what does this color represent? If you hover the mouse, if you take the mouse or hover the mouse on that color, you will see a kind of small statistics coming up. Does it show you the same thing?
Yes.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. In fact, the first thing what you'll see when you are loading any data from any source to Power Query editor screen, the first thing what it will identify three things. As I told you, it is having the capability to identify each and every portion of your data and say what kind of data type it should fit in. That is one thing through the change type. Second portion, it will say how many total number of data sources that you have added. It will give you the 1,000 data. There is it doesn't find any kind of blanks in it. So that is why it is showing you a valid data and zero errors and then zero empty. So if there is any blank, then this portion will be updated with how many total number of blank rows are there or blank cells are there in that particular column. So this statistic is being shown for each column, not on the entire. It is showing you for each one of the column. So this is the empty portion. It will let you know. Now talking about the error, I'll give you a minute to understand. Can you guys tell me what do you think about this kind of error? What do you mean by an error here? What do you think, according to you?
Digit means then in data uniformity. Let's say if it is number is there instead of number, if some alphabet comes, will it give that error?
Bang on. That's absolutely right. So what does error mean in here? Errors are nothing but when the data type format is being changed. For example, from your Excel file or from your external source when you're loading the data. And if all the cells are having the data, let's say all the numerics, but at least one particular cell is unfortunately having a alphabet or any other instance or anything, right? Then that is called the data error. So instead of all the numbers there is alphabetical in between. So that is what it will show how many such kind of data type errors are there. So the first thing is it will show how many total number of rows are loaded and if all the rows are filled in or not. And second thing, data type error. Third will show if there are any empty errors. So whenever there is any change, which means leaving the first portion, if there is any increase in the number other than zero, if there is anything greater than zero, then the color will automatically identify with brown color. Here it comes with a brown. Suppose that is only for the empty. So do remember there are three different colors. If it is entirely green, which means there is no problem with your data. But if it is showing brown color, which means there is an empty row. If it is showing red color, if it is showing red color with a diagonal or teal stripes, okay, then particularly there is an error in that file. These are the three indications. Indication one, if it is entirely green, no problem. Indication two, if it is brown color, there is an empty data. Indication three, if it is red in color, right, then it is error. There are errors in that. These are the three indications that you will easily identify looking at your data. So you don't need to hover the mouse on there. You can just look at to the right hand side and observe that line. And with that change in the color, you will should be able to identify is there any problem in your data or not.
So Srikanth, basically, if there is any problem, so you have to go and fix in the source file itself, not here itself.
That is the first thing. Yes, you will not be able to change anything here because since the data has been loaded here, you will not do any changes or you can't do any changes here. But you can control the information. If you don't want that, you can remove that. But you can't specifically modify the data within the cell, each cell. Anything you want to do, you have to do it on the source file. After you create the source file, you don't need to redo all the step. Just come back and then click on the refresh of this data, refresh the preview. This will automatically fix the data.
Got it. Can we make some changes in that and see whether it is coming, how it is showing there, that any error it is throwing? Yeah, right now, I think this file doesn't have any error, looks like.
Sure. Then you stay tuned to my screen. Don't do anything on your screens.
So,
I don't want anyone to do any modifications otherwise around. If you forget to redo the changes, everything will go for a toss. Let's say, for example, here, this is the Zomato Asia file where I'm loading. Okay, this is 6317637, right? So let's say, for example, better let me remember this. It's okay, I will remember this, not a problem. So I'm just typing double A here. Okay, now I'm saving the file. The first thing, I'm saving the file. And when I come back, now you see here, when I click on the refresh, okay,
Okay.
when I click on the refresh, you will see the data has been updated.
Okay.
Now, right now, it is not showing any error. The reason why it is not showing any error, because it is not starting from the initial stage. Okay,
Okay.
but just in case, what will happen if I remove this? If I remove this, and now just see when I click on the promoted header here, or let's say even if I remove the navigation, now this is what the data I have. So here I have done the refresh preview, and then I'm gonna click on this table. Now till here it is good, or let's say I'll just totally remove this. And now again, I'm going to source the data, and I'm checking this option right now. So this is loading as of now. So which is of no problem at all. Now here it didn't identify what exactly the data kind of format it is. Reason why it is not adding or updating. I'll show you one more thing. This data is based upon the top 1000 rows. Okay. So this is very minimal in nature it what it has happened. But you will absolutely see everything which is there in the it either it is not considering, or let's say let us do it this way, right?
Is it because it is in the general format that it accepts both
It
numbers
is
and
in,
text?
it is in the general format, that is why it is accepting.
Ah,
Let's say for
ah,
example, if I change this back to the whole number, now you see this is
mm,
an error.
yeah, yeah.
And also you can see here on the error percentage, it is very minimal percentage.
That's true.
Okay, so very
Yeah.
minimal percentage, but it is absolutely showing error. Now for example, if I change this back and then save the file here, and now coming back and then refresh, now this is absolutely okay, there is no problem at all.
But I have a doubt, even if it's minimal, won't it throw up an error like in the form of a color, which we
It
were
will show,
talking about?
it will show if there is major portion, it will definitely show major portion.
Basically,
Okay.
minor it will ignore. You mean to say
it,
that?
it will not ignore, it will show. I'll show you that. So just give me a minute, I'm gonna show you something.
Okay.
I'm just bringing this back to the original stage, then I'll show you. So what we are talking about is this Zomato Asia file. Right now, how many total number of rows of data you're seeing here?
8849.
8849. So you have 8849 rows of data, correct?
Correct.
But when you go back to the Power BI screen, now do you see it is giving you the statistics only for 1000?
Yes, it's giving 1,000 only.
So what do you think the remaining 7849 rows are gone away?
It must be there. Maybe it will be. It has a limitation of 1,000 to show off only here. Maybe I don't know.
It shows only top 1000.
Right. So any data type that you are taking up onto the Power Query editor screen, it will not show you the entire data. Either it is lakhs of data or either it is lesser data, it will not show everything. If the data is lesser than 1000, It will show the entire information. Anything more than 1000, it will only give you the top 1000 rows as a statistics, and it will work only on the top 1000 row. But that doesn't mean anything that you are applying will not be applied for the remaining rows. Yes, it will be applied. So where do you identify that? If you just come down and you can see on the left hand side where I'm highlighting right now, it says 10 columns and 999 plus rows. Okay, 10 columns and 999 plus row. And just right hand side to that, there is something called column profiling based on top 1000 rows. When I switch this back to entire data set, which means when I click on that and there is an option called column profiling based on entire data set. So for a minute, it just refresh. And now if I hover the mouse back, do you see the entire data has been shown up?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
By default, anything which is top 1000, more than 1000, Power Query will only show you the top 1000 and show you the statistics only for that. Now, when you select the entire data set, based on that, it will show you what is the total number of errors or anything that has been happening. It will show you here. Okay. This is a simple way where your data has been actually controlled. Why it is doing only top 1000? Just to save the memory and to make sure to run faster and execute it faster. But in general, it is applied to all the 8000 rows of data.
Got
So
it.
in that scenario, for the first example you showed, right, you change that particular cell into A's. So if we select column profiling based on entire data set, will it show us that error then?
It will show. Maybe I'll do it this way. Like, let's say somewhere in between, I'll just add few. Okay, so now
Yeah,
I have added here like this. And now that the change type step, right now, it will not show any error. Okay, but since when I change this back to a whole number, now these are all coming up as an errors.
yeah.
Now when I click on this, okay, it is not refreshing. It will actually show you the error. It is still not identifying the error here because now you see, this is how it will show.
Okay.
It tells you there are 6
6.
errors which are lesser
Okay.
than 1%.
Yes.
This is how
Correct.
it actually shows
Yeah,
you
yeah.
the error,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Got it.
So let me just pick this file back and I'll save the file and then I'm close it because I don't require. Let me just refresh.
This takes some time to refresh.
It usually doesn't take time, but sometimes it will just happen.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Can we take little break?
Are you guys okay till 12 o'clock? 12 o'clock, I can give you a break, or you want it right away? Okay, no
Okay.
problem. You can take a break and then you can come back, but be faster.
Sure. So now it is 11:36. We'll be back by 11:40.
4 minutes break. Okay, sure.
Sure. Thank you.
If everyone are back, we can continue. I'll give you a 10-15 minutes break in between later.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Yes, we can continue now.
Okay. All right. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So now this is what we are talking about, the data where it is about column profiling based on entire data, or either it is going to be a lesser and later part. Now coming back to the point where Kalpana is able to see certain information in her screen, but the others. So I'm talking about that now. If you go to the view tab on the top, okay, click on the view tab on the top, and under the view tab, where you can see data preview, view tab data preview group, you have certain options. So let's talk about one options. Okay. When you select the column quality here under the view tab data preview group column quality, when you click on this, you would see of the same information where you hover the screen, right? When you hover the mouse, the information when you hover the mouse, you are going to see the same thing here in in the percent in the form of percentages like valid, error, and empty rows. Got it?
Yes.
Now, other than that, if I uncheck the column quality and in the same option, view tab data preview group, when you click on the column profile, okay, it gives you a kind of statistics like this. That is one more thing. Just see this, click on the column profile part.
Column profile. I'm not getting this. Where should I actually keep my cell?
Sorry guys, I was just uh, right. So this is something called the column profiling. When we talk about the column profiling, this is about the entire information, what it is giving you the statistics for. For instance, when I click on the country code, it gives me a data only data related to the value distribution. If it can able to give anything, it will give. If not, no. For example, in this case, since it is only the proper data format is based upon the date, it is showing you the distribution accordingly, like kind of what is the total count, if there are any errors or empty, what are the distinct values over here, and what is the minimum date, what is the maximum date, what is the average date. So it is showing you a simple sort of statistics. This is one way, which, I mean, these are kind of high level, but very honestly to talk about this, it is absolutely not required, but these are the options. So when I uncheck the column profile and click on the column distribution, the same sort of option you will be able to see on the top of the data, just below the header. Just below the header, you will see the same information. Got it? You guys were able to see this?
Yes, it is coming up. Can.
Right.
Yes, yes.
But I would say there is nothing that you are going to show this kind of information to anyone, and no one is going to appraise you with this kind of methodology, because none of them are going to see this. But options which are being given, the better way that you can able to see is for you to understand how good your data is. That is what this distribution or profile or quality will be able to help you out. That is what exactly these options are available for. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And coming back to the main important point. So now we have touch based about left hand side, what it is there, right hand side, what we have in between of the data modeling, how we are going to take it, look at the data. And again, on the below options, what are the options you have? Everything we have covered. Now, a simple portion just wanted to give you, but just on a high level. These applied steps which are there here on the right hand side, although these are shown up like in terms of step, what you can see, right, under the home tab, or let's say go to the view tab. Under the view tab, under advanced group, there is an option called advanced editor. View tab, advanced group, advanced editor. When you click on the advanced editor, this applied steps, whatever the applied steps had been created, all those are coming up in terms of a coding method. This is a SQL query or SQL way of writing a query within the Power Query editor.
Is there, Srikant, do you have anything to do here for us or just for view only?
This is just for view. I'll tell you there is I mean, there is a usage of this, but I'll tell you in the later portion.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so you can just click on the done here and then come back. Okay, now the second portion, what we are going to work on will be two things. One, for example, right. So now, so far what we have done is we have done understanding about this. Now let's look at the next portion. I want to add, so the reason why I'm going to do this, and well, let me explain this first and then you will understand. So I'm expecting in the later stage, the data from Africa, Europe, NAM, Oceania, and then SAM. We are going to load all this information into into Power Query Editor. After loading everything, right, I want to club all this information into one single table. This is my agenda. All right. When I try to club this information down the line, what will happen? If you take a look at this, do you see by any chance anywhere does this data have any representation of the region? You understand what I said?
I think region is not mentioned anywhere in this.
There's no region column.
There's no region
Correct.
column.
There is
Okay.
no region column. So it will become different or difficult for us to identify if this data belongs to the Asia region or not. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So for this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to rely on adding a new column here with the data called the Asia. So how do I do that? If you go to the column, if you go to the tab called the Add Column tab, okay. If you go and click on Add Column tab here, okay. Click on the Add Column tab. Under the General group, you see there is an option called the Custom column. Add column, General group, Custom column. You see this?
Yes.
Okay.
So after you come back here, what I would recommend, what I would usually recommend here is you give any column name that you like. Usually what I wanted to do is I will give a column called the region like this. Okay. I gave the column name as region, and within this, I'm just going to open a double quotes and then mention Asia. So while you are mentioning Asia, just remember to type the Asia in a proper case. Like the first case will be the capital, and then remaining will be small letters.
And in the available column, should we have to move it to the right or to the last or?
No, no. First thing, have you created this with the column name?
Yes, yes, that we
Okay,
did.
but whatever the column name that you have created, you have to maintain this consistently over the next coming few more tables as well. The
Got
places
it.
where I'm going to say. And the names. So for Asia, you're going to mention this in a proper case, and for the rest of the continents, apart from Sam and Nam. For example, if you go back and look at the data table here, the name of the files here, let's say Sam, Nam, Europe,
Gaps.
Oceania, the way the names are being given, you have to maintain the same thing.
Same.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
And
So
now
it is
click on
case
OK.
sensitive, right? That's what
They are
is.
case sensitive.
Okay.
So once you click on OK, this will add a new column which is there coming as region in the end of the column. Correct.
Yes.
Now you don't need to worry about that. You can just leave it as it is. Now, after you have added, can you confirm that you have got 11 columns and 999 plus rows here on the left hand side?
11 columns. Yes.
Left hand
Yes.
side down,
Yes.
everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now this is going to be our check portion. This is going to be our check portion. Now let me give a pause and then see. You guys have any questions so far now? Anything?
No from my side.
No.
Everyone are okay?
So just one query. So the moment I added the row, a new column, I'm sorry, a new column, the applied steps has an added custom, right? It
Right.
automatically shows us the sequence, right, in which we are changing our data.
Come again?
No, for example, the applied steps. Okay, so
Acha,
the
applied step we were talking about.
yeah, that
Yes.
part. So for example, I the date part I changed, so it showed change type. Now I add a column. It showed which is a custom column, so it shows added column. So it's a sequence of steps, right?
Right.
Okay.
All right. So far you guys are good. You are able to understand what we have done.
Okay from my, I'm okay from
Yes.
my side.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see how your understanding is. Now what I want everyone to do is I want you guys to load the remaining files like Africa. Okay, just load the file Africa from your end. Then what you have to do, load the file Africa and then follow the same procedure. Remove the change type and then only change one column, which is the date type as a data, I mean date type. Then third thing you need to do is add a region. You need to add Africa within that and then close. So you need to perform all these steps. One, load Africa file, then remove the change type, then change only the as on column to date type. And fourth step, add a custom column called the region and then give a name called Africa. Just quickly do this and let me know if you guys were able to do this. Load only the Africa column. I mean Africa data.
Yeah, done for myself.
Good. So let's wait from to hear from the others as well. So now, uh, after doing this, were you successfully having 11 columns of data?
Yeah, I have 11 columns and 59 rows.
11 columns and 59 rows. Okay, that count matches with the with my count as well.
Yeah, same for me as well.
Srikant, one help required here. So
Oh,
I went to the data source settings
mhm.
and then change the data source settings. So I went to the Africa file.
No, why did you go to the data source settings?
To go to a new source.
Yes, you have to add a new source.
Okay, so
So have you replaced your entire data with the Africa file instead of Asia?
yes, I think it must be done now.
So if you have done that, then what you have to do is, then I think I believe that the region column and everything you have set it up, or what have you done?
One second, let me see. Go to error. Region I have not done.
Okay, then add the Africa region over there, and then load the Asia file separately. Then
I think source. It is giving error itself because the Zomato Asia was there. So it is, maybe I'll redo it completely.
this is Aditya, right?
No, this is Kamal.
Kamal. Okay, sorry. So how about you, Rajesh? You're able to do it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Then let Kamal do that. And by the time, what you guys can do, now repeat the same sort of steps, whatever I have done, and load the data for Europe, NAM, Oceania,
Your voice is breaking. I'm
and
sorry.
SAM.
We didn't. I couldn't. Hello.
Oh
Sorry.
my God. Is
Your
it audible?
voice
Is
was
it audible
breaking.
now?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, while Kamal is doing rest of you three, what you guys can do now, load the data for Europe, NAM, Oceania, and SAM. Also
Okay.
maintain the same naming convention of the name file, case sensitive everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, just quickly do that and let me know.
Srikant, can I share my screen? I have some difficulty here. Srikant?
Are you sharing your screen?
Yes, yes, I'll be sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yes, it is loading. Yep.
Okay, so I did already this one. Now
I think you're only sharing the you're not sharing the entire screen. You're just sharing me one
okay,
particular window.
okay, share entire screen. Okay, is it visible now?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so this particular steps has been, I have redo it already. I put already SCR here. Now
First, bring the query settings on the screen back. That will help you out.
this is the one.
No, no, no. Query settings.
Okay, so
How do you bring the query settings? The
so
the box on the right hand side. How do you bring the query settings on the right hand side? Go to the view tab.
okay, view.
On the layout group,
No,
query
no, this
settings.
query settings.
Layout.
Yes, sure.
Right. Now you double click on the added custom on the right hand side. Now first thing, you remove this added custom as well,
Okay,
and then remove the change type.
okay. Yes, Srikant.
So change the as on type to date format.
I already did that.
Done from my side, Shrikant. For 6 are appearing.
I made it to date. Yeah, it's already there.
Okay. Um, right, Kamal. Now add the column. Click on the add column and then add a column there.
That I already did also. Where is that?
No, we have removed it, so you have to redo that.
Okay, 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 okay. So add column, customs column. Region. Okay, this has come. Now I go to when
Right.
home,
Now repeat the same sort of steps to every other region.
new source, Excel,
Right.
Africa.
Thanks, Kalpana. Let's just stay here. Probably what you
Yeah.
guys can do, just keep a watch on this window and then see if it's doing anything wrong, you can guide it. I'll also just do it from my end as well, meanwhile.
Yeah. One doubt I had, Shrikant, I did that, but the date column, like one column, we change it to the date format, right? The moment
Hmm.
first one was changed, everything picked up the same one. So does that work like that?
What do you mean by that? Is that,
Uh,
I mean, are you saying the entire data set got converted?
no, every time I'm adding a file, okay, Zomato Europe NAM, when I
Hmm.
go to this as on, it is automatically showing me everything as date only,
Correct, it will show automatically. That is
automatically.
where,
Okay.
yeah, that is where we are removing the change type and then redoing the job
Okay. Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
of changing only one particular column, not the entire column.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Got that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it not taking Srikant here? I cannot able to type anything.
Just put the double quotes.
Okay. Okay. documented from what I did. Go from
You can minimize that formula bar screen so that you can see more data visible.
this particular one you want to say?
Yeah, yeah.
I can
If you go
close
to
it.
the no, no, you can no, no. If you go to the extreme right hand side, there is an arrow mark.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Got it. Okay. So this is done up. Now go to the source Excel Euro. This 5 only, right? Do we have some more or this 5 only we need to do?
you are missing Oceania as
We
well.
have Oceania as well.
Okay, Ocean also.
Yeah, 6.
Got it.
Right. Looks like now everything is set up. But I still see that you are not changing the change type step properly,
Which change type?
because I told you clearly like not to remove the change type step first and then only update the as on date. The reason why we are doing this, because all the other data should not be, if there are any trailing zeros, I don't want that data to be missed like that.
Okay, so for the change types, it should be removed and then provided the another column. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now we can redo it something.
Yeah, you can remove the add rate column step and then remove the change type and again redo only the as on one.
Let's say I'm in Usmania, so
Okay, remove the change type step. No, just remove the change type.
delete step, delete
Now change only the as on to date column.
date.
Right. Yeah. Just that's it. So look at the remaining things as well. Just cross verify the remaining other things because you are not following that step properly. So remove the change type and then just only change the as on date.
Second, what different it will make by doing that step?
I keep repeating the same thing again. Doing this methodology, if there are any trailing zeros, if there are any zeros in the prefix side,
Okay,
those will be converted automatically. So we are
got it.
just बचाने के लिए हमें ये चीज कर रहे हैं.
Okay, ठीक है, समझ गया.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll stop sharing now.
Yes. All right. So I'm expecting that everyone are on the same page with us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see the results in few minutes. Now, what we have done is we have added successfully a region column and then we have all the 6 tables updated here. Okay. The second step, what we are going to do, as I told you that I want to combine all the data from all these sources into one single table. Okay. So like a consolidated table. So the next step is something what we call it as consolidation of the table. So in order to consolidate all the tables, the terminology that I'm going to just update here, it is called append queries. We are going to do the append query. Okay. So how do we do that? Go to the home tab on the top. Go to the home tab on the top. So listen to the instructions very clearly. Home tab, okay, and then combine group. Under the home tab, combine group, you will see there is an option called append query. So click on the drop down of the append query, home tab, combine group, drop down of the append query. you will see two different options. One is called append query, one is called append query as new. So I want you guys to click on append queries as new. Okay, append queries as new. Once again, I repeat, home tab, combine group, and you will see the drop down for append queries. When you click on the drop down, you are going to select the append queries as new. So you will click on that. Once you click on that, what you are going to do, if just to give you a checkpoint that are you following my methodology or not, just to give you a checkpoint, you will see an append box coming up on the screen like this. That is the first. The second checkpoint, what you will also see, there shouldn't be any kind of critical symbol or warning symbol in front of any of the queries. When you are doing this methodology, you should not see any kind of query, I mean, warning symbol or critical symbol appearing in front of any one of the query name. So these are the two checkpoints to ensure that you are right now exactly doing what I have told you. Do anyone see any kind of query symbol or any symbol in front of the queries group?
No.
No.
Okay, then which means you guys are good. So usually for appending of the query, there are two methodologies we follow. One, since I have got right six different tables, what am I going to do is I'm going to choose three or more tables and select this option. First, click on the radio button of three or more tables. Once you click on the three or more tables, left hand side you will see what are the available tables, which are all the query names, and on the right hand side you will see tables to append. Here this particular table name might vary between you and me, so nothing to worry about that. Don't worry about what is the right now the table which is showing. For some of you it might show Asia, some of you it might show Sam, some of you might show something else, but do not worry about anything. Whatever the table it is already displayed here, you leave that as it is. And on the left hand side, whatever the tables which are not appearing on the right hand side, select all the tables. Either you can select by using the control or shift. Let's say for example, I'm going to select Asia till NAM. So I selected Asia and then hold the shift button and click on NAM so that all the tables are selected at one go, and I click on add. These are appearing on the right hand side like this. Okay. So whatever the tables we have created, we are asking the query to select all the tables. And once we are done with that, right, just click on the OK. This will add another new table, which is called append one. This is another new query called a new query, which is created called append one. As I told you, since this table is coming directly within the Power Query extract, right? So you will only see one particular line item, which is called the source. If you are bringing the tables from outside the Power BI application or query application, then you will see all those normal things like source, navigation, and the rest. But here at this point in time, you are going to see only the source. Now give me a confirmation once you are done with this.
My system is a bit stuck, Shrikant. I'll just confirm it once it's back.
Okay.
It's done, Srikant.
All right. Let's wait for one of our friend. Let her also get come back. All right, let her come back. So meanwhile, what you guys can do, rest of the people whom you already have, for all the people like rest of the three where you have appended this query. Now give me a quick confirmation. How many total number of columns you are seeing on the append one table?
11 columns.
Okay, is there any other count differing between everyone?
No.
That's fantastic. I was expecting a different number, but everyone are on a same page with me. So which means you are following the class very properly. So if you have got 11 columns and 999 plus rows, then I think we are absolutely good.
Srikant, can we
S-
see the all total number of rows also by changing this bottom part? So it
Yes,
is
you
not
can
showing.
change.
I changed
You
it,
can change.
it still shows the same triple
No,
one and
now it is showing 9550.
okay, the top it shows okay. Down it shows the still same.
Have you changed this column profiling
Yes,
based
yes,
on
yes,
entire
yes,
data set?
yes, yes. I
And
changed it
if
and
you
yeah, got
if
it.
you hover the mouse, it should be 9550 now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Then it was 0.
good.
Yeah, I'm getting 11 columns, 999 plus rows.
Perfect. If you are getting 11 columns, we are absolutely good.
Okay.
All right. Now just take a look at the screen now. We know that we have loaded the Asia table, which is absolutely good, and there is no doubt and problem about it. Now let's go to the Africa table. When you go to the Africa table, by any chance, do you see any kind of empty rows? How many total number of rows are there in the Africa table for everyone?
59 rows.
Wonderful. And then
59 rows.
let's go to the Europe. In the Europe, do you see 80 rows?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Oceania, you have got 64 rows.
Yes.
yes,
All right. NAM, it is 438 rows. You have
That
the data.
yes.
yes,
SAM, you have 60 rows of
60.
data.
Yeah.
Perfect.
yes,
So which means in the appendment table, combined everything, you should be seeing 9550 rows, everyone.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. So now, so far what we have done, what we have learned on the Power Query, we know how to load an Excel file from a particular folder, and we also know what is the change type step it is doing. And we also have learned how you control the change type if you want to do it for all the fields or only one single field. And you also have learned how do you add a custom column for predefining a data. And you also have learned how you can append all this information into one single table. So these are the steps that we have followed so far right now. Correct?
Yeah. Shrikant, sorry to interrupt. I just have a doubt. Where do you see 9550? I'm not getting that number.
On the appendment table,
Okay.
when you hover the mouse, do you see this 9550 on the green, on the teal color?
One moment. Because there I'm getting 1000.
Okay, now you have to guide me. If I want to see the entire data set, what should I do?
I have to see check column profiling based on entire data set.
Perfect. Now change it.
Yeah, done.
Now check the number and let me know.
One moment. I'm getting 9610.
9610.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I understand what you would have done. Just follow this step.
Yeah, sure.
Click on the source on the append one table. Double click on the source.
Okay.
Now, do you see any repeated table on the right hand side table? On the right hand side box, do you see any kind of repeated table?
Let me check that. 1 minute. I'm sorry, Shrikant. So how do I go to that? I double click on append and get this box.
No,
Ah.
நீங்க append1 டேபிள் வந்து கிளிக் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் இந்த ரைட் ஹேண்ட் சைடுல சோர்ஸ் காமிக்கிறதா
Ah,
அப்ளைட் ஸ்டெப்ஸ்
there,
கீழ
there. Okay, okay.
அங்க டபுள் கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க.
Right. Yeah. Sam is coming twice.
See,
Oh,
ஒரு சாம் மட்டும் செலக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு நீங்க ஜஸ்ட் ஸ்க்ரோல் டவுன் பண்ணுங்க. ஸ்க்ரோல் டவுன் பண்ணிட்டு அங்க ரிமூவ் ஆப்ஷன் ஒரு ஆப்ஷன் இருக்கும்.
yeah.
Click on that
Okay, 1 minute.
and then click on OK.
Just a sec. Refresh பண்ணுமா?
ஆமா, ரீஃப்ரெஷ் பண்ண தேவையில்ல. நீங்க
தேவையில்ல.
ஜஸ்ட் வெறும் அந்த ஒரு சாம் மட்டும் செலக்ட் பண்ணி ரிமூவ் பண்ணிட்டு நீங்க ஓகே கிளிக் பண்ணும்போது ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காவே அதுல 9550 செட் ஆகணும்.
Yes, it's coming now. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Now, so far, this is what we have done in all the places what we have loaded this information. Okay. Now, what we will do is we will load another 3 more supporting data. If you remember, we have got another 3 more supporting informations, right? So let's load all those supporting information first. So again, I'll go back to the home tab, new query group, new source, click on the Excel workbook. And all I'm doing is load the country code file and don't do any changes. Load the country file and just remove the change type. Load the country code and then remove the change type. Similarly, again, click on the new source, click on the Excel workbook, and then now load the currency converter file. And then once the file is loaded, just remove the change type. Don't change anything. Just remove the change type. It hardly takes around a minute for you guys now. And then the fact table.
In the country
For
code, in the country
yeah,
code, we have to put the change type. We have to remove the change type, right?
remove the change type.
Okay.
Country code, currency converter, and also the fact table. Whatever the tables you are loading, once after the data table is loaded, just remove the change type. So for the fact table, since the sheet name is renamed as KPIs, you will see that as KPI table.
Master used converter than KPI.
Now on the left hand side, altogether you will have 10 queries if you have successfully loaded everything.
KPI is not there with me.
Fact table. That's what I have told you. You have to select the fact table.
Okay, fact table. And we have to rename it as KPI. KPI.
No, you don't need to rename. The moment once you add the fact table, it will automatically come as
KPI.
yes.
Got it.
Yeah, got it.
So now you should have 10 different queries on the left hand side.
Yes.
Yeah.
For everyone, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Now do not do anything. Leave the system as it is. Take around 10 minutes break and let's regroup. Then I'll continue the session with the remaining options. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Try to be here by 12:45.
Yeah, done.
Okay.
Okay.
A very nice society you live in. Yeah. Do you mind giving like a short house tour? Oh, all right. Actually, let's start with the society first. All right, let's go. That is the area and the library. So we have some beautiful gardens in each flat. This is so green. Yeah, this is the house. Of course, we have the beautiful garden here. You just chill and sit in the greenery. If you like, you can go pull up. Let's give it a shot. Quiet there, quiet there. This is the kitchen area where you also play board games. This is the bedroom where I sleep. And this is the master bedroom that we have converted into a working area. This is where I basically work. And this is the guest bedroom for the rents to crash. Oh, by the way, these look amazing. Where did you get these from? I do pottery. You made these? Yes. Wow. Lovely. I know. Two questions. Okay. Where is this? This is near SSR. And what's the rent? I think it's time for you to go. Hi. It's a very nice society. David and Elemi
Good. Okay. Kamal, Rajesh. Aditya, I hope you're also back. Yep. Let me start sharing the screen. All right. So now we have got the data for different regions, and then we also have got the supporting files. So let's start working on the supporting files first. Then we'll look into the remaining statistics. So first thing, let's go back to the country master. When I click on the country master, now when you observe on the country master, there are two things that you can see. The data on the first note, you can see that they are duplicated, and also in between the data, you also have some blank rows, right? When you hover the mouse, now you can see there are 199 fields which are valid and 0 errors, but there are 10 different empty rows are there, right? So now what I'm going to do, I want to get rid of the empty rows. So instead of doing any option, I can straightly go back to this place when where I can hover the mouse. And here you can see there is an option called the remove empty. When I click on the remove empty, right, you can see on the right hand side it says filtered rows. So which means it is technically not deleting the data, but it is filtering the information where the blanks are available on the based on the country code. It is just filtering those information, right? Just apply it and then see.
Yeah, done. I'm getting 0 empty now.
Right. So as of now, we have got 199 rows, which are completely valid information. And post which, now since we already have duplicates within that, now let's see what we can do on the duplicates part. So for this, what I'm going to do, I can see the country code column is already been selected. How do I understand looking at the background of it? This is already selected. This has not been selected yet. Okay. So when I type control, when I select the country code column first and then type control A, now you could see that the entire table is being selected. The way that you can actually select the entire table by selecting one column and then type control A, it gets selected everything. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you one more methodology. For example, if you are really not good enough to identify a particular option or you are unable to identify, like in Excel, we have menu driven shortcuts in Power BI as well. We have menu driven shortcuts in Power BI as well. For instance, just take a look at this. I need to remove the duplicates. In order to remove the duplicate, usually what I do, I can go to the home tab and then under the reduce rows group, again, I'll click on the remove rows. This is how I usually go. But just to make your job easier, or if you don't remember the shortcut, I mean, if you don't remember the options where it is exactly, you can just do it this way by selecting the alt key. The moment once you select the alt key, do you see that there are shortcuts which are available right now, like H, T, A, W, Z, Z1, E1?
Yeah.
So now I want to go to home. So I'll click on the home tab. So alt and then H. And now if you see the reduce remove rows, it is having W. So W. And after you select this alt H W, you will see the options are coming up here, right? So out of these options, now I can able to select directly remove duplicates. The moment once you select the remove duplicates, you will see the duplicates are being removed, and then you can see there are only 15 rows available now. So these are called menu driven shortcuts. Is it working?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Right. So now we are good enough that this particular table is being handled well by removing the blank rows first, and then we have removed the duplicates. Now, I'll also give you one more option. I hope everyone are good at sorting in Excel. Have you done sorting in Excel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you done multi sorting columns as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The difference between Power BI and Excel, I'll tell you. In Excel, for example, if you have the same Excel file and now using the sort options, you would have sorted the first the country code. Then again, using adding another layer to that, you have already have sorted the country column, for instance. And now click OK, data is sorted. But if you share this file to someone else, for example, if you share the file to someone else, do you think the other person can automatically identify that the data has been sorted and it is a multi-level sorting as well, just by looking at the data?
No, it's difficult to identify.
Right. First thing, we will not be able to identify that it is already sorted.
Yeah.
Maybe based upon the data we can see. Then we'll have to click on the sort box to see if there is any multi-level sorting. Correct?
Yeah. Correct.
But in Power BI, it is in fact in the other way around. So for example, take a look at this. I'm selecting the country code. I'm selecting the country code. And when I click on the filter button here, when I click on the filter drop down of this, you will see options like sort ascending and descending. That's the very first option you will have. For instance, when I'm selecting the sort ascending here automatically, do you see the data has been sorted now?
Yeah.
Also, what you will notice, do you see an arrow mark within the filter button now
Yeah.
towards upward direction? This is this indicates that the data is sorted, and also it indicates that data is sorted in ascending order. Usually you might think it should be reverse, but it's not reverse. It is upward direction. Ascending means upward, descending means downward direction. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, after doing the sorting, if I also want to do a country sorting level, now see this. Again, I click on the filter button and then click on ascending order. Now, the moment once you click on the ascending order and select anywhere in the cell, do you observe any difference on the filter button as well in that particular column header?
Yeah. We see 1 and 2. So first country code has been sorted and then country.
Right. So this is the I2 detail. When you look at a data, when there is a sorting happen, either you can see sorted rows option here one on the applied step. However, when someone have sorted, you will also see which column is sorted first and then which column was sorted next in a level. So this is the first column is sorted first and the second column is sorted next. Got it? So this is the beauty of the Power BI where you can identify, you don't need to go into the details anywhere, but it will actually tell you how the levels have been sorted. Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
right. So let's go to the USD converter. I think USD converter is good, and then KPIs are also good. So, someone have a question? Okay, all right. So now our database is entirely set properly. Like we have the country master, USD converter, the KPIs file, which is absolutely good. Everything looks absolutely fine. So, which I'm not worried about. Now let's talk about the major topic. How many of you are good at VLOOKUP or index and match, whatever be the lookup functions in Excel you have, either HLOOKUP or VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP or index and match? How many of you are really good at this?
I use VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP sometimes.
Okay.
I do.
Rest, anyone?
I also do use VLOOKUP XLOOKUP also.
Okay, good. So, do you find any difficulty in doing a VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP in Excel? Initially, have you struggled?
Initially, it was there.
Yeah. Yes.
But now, since you are using it extensively for quite some time, probably I think you would have become a big master in VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP, I would say.
Right.
Right. So, how we are performing the VLOOKUP function in Excel and how we are going to perform the same sort of options within Power BI, let's look at both the differences. Now, for example, I'll give you a scenario. There is a KPI database here. Okay. In this KPI database, there are almost around 10 different columns here. When I look at the data, there are 10 different columns. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, when I go back to the append one table and KPI table, take a look and then tell me what is the common factor between append one and the KPI table. If you want to perform a VLOOKUP between append one and KPI,
Restaurant ID. Restaurant ID.
good. So restaurant ID is considered to be a common data set between both the tables, which is append one and the KPI. Now, in append one table, there are 11 columns. In KPI, there are 10 columns. Now, leaving restaurant ID aside, how many other total number of columns I have? If I want to bring all these columns into the append one table, how many times I usually perform the VLOOKUP in Excel?
Ten times at least.
At least you'll
Nine
do it
times.
9 times,
Yeah. 9 times. Yeah. Nine
Yeah.
times.
correct?
Yes.
Right. Maybe if you are a master, you might write a formula at one go for all the 9 columns data to retrieve at one go. But however, there are simply 9 different types of Excel's VLOOKUP formulas that you are going to write. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
So now take a look what we are doing here in a simple way. Since we have the restaurant ID, which is common between KPI and append one table. Now do remember this very clearly. In Power BI, there is nothing called VLOOKUP formula. There is no VLOOKUP formula. However, it is going to be a kind of connectivity that you are going to do between two different tables. How? First thing, where should I write the formula? Let's talk in a simple Excel language because you can connect it directly. Where do I expect to write the formula in which table? What is my from table and to table? What is my from table here?
From I'm
Append one.
just yeah. From should be KPI. To should be append.
Perfect. Because we want to get the data within the append one table from the KPI. So to becomes append one, from become KPI. Correct?
Yeah.
So since I want to write the formula or apply the step onto the append one, the first step what I need to do is I'm going to select the append one first. No double click, just select the append one. After you select the append one, this type of methodology what we are going to follow is called merge query. is called merge queries. So how do you get to the merge queries? As I told you, you can always go with a menu driven shortcut, which is absolutely okay. Again, Alt H, or let's say Alt, and then click on the H. And after you click on the H, you will see the option called merge queries here, which is called E. Okay, Alt H E. This is the menu driven shortcut. Okay, so once you click on Alt H E, you will see there are two options which are open for us: merge queries and merge queries as new, right? So since I don't want to use any new query, I want to append the data into this particular data set. I click on the merge queries directly. So once I click on the merge query, first thing what you will notice, there is a box coming up on the screen which is called merge box. And on the left hand side query, this time what you have to identify is before the append one table, there is a critical symbol or a warning symbol which is appearing. This is a checkpoint to know that you are writing the or applying the query to a right table, because we want to bring the data into the append one table. So this should be in a working phase. This critical symbol or warning symbol mean that you are currently working on this particular table or the query. That is your checkpoint. You need to make an I to detail that. And also on the merge query box, when you see on the top, append one table will be there, because this is a place where you want to get the information to. Okay, and this will be freezed, so there is no doubt about it. You are not going to change or can't do anything. But below this, there is a drop down from where you have to select the from table. So you want to bring the table from which table? I want to bring the data
KPIs.
from KPI. So I'm selecting the KPI first. Okay, so on the top is the to table, on the below is the from table. Now what is common between these two? Restaurant ID. So I'm going to select the restaurant ID on the top from the append one table and select the restaurant ID on the below, which is there in the KPI. The moment once I select these two here, you will identify there is a lookup here which says the selection matches 955 of 955, which means the data where we want to bring into from the table, every data is being matching. Understand?
Yeah.
When you write the VLOOKUP formula, unless and until you write and hit on enter and drag or apply it, you will not be able to identify wherever the not applicables are there, which means those are not matching, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
But in Power BI, in the initial stage itself, it will identify and tell you how many are actually matching or how many are not matching. Of course, I'm not saying that 100% everything should match. In this example, everything is going very well. But in your real time scenario, this is a place where it will actually identify and tell you how many are matching or how many are not matching.
Okay, what if it doesn't match? Should we go to the actual data and then check that? Or
I mean, you have to take a call. If it is not matching, if you know that sometimes things will not match, and if
yeah,
you are still okay with that, you can proceed. But if
okay,
you think everything should match, then you have to look at your source tables where it went wrong.
okay.
So now the restaurant ID and restaurant ID are matching, and the moment once you click on OK, what is happening? There is a new column which is called the KPA, which is added, and what basically it does is it is creating a link between the KPI table and the appendment table via restaurant ID. Got it? What it is doing? It is actually creating a relation between both the tables via restaurant ID. Okay.
Yeah,
So now do you see the new column which is added on your tables?
yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Good. After this, what is the job? The jobs are pretty simple. If you also identify this particular column right now, the filter symbol, it is showing you a left and right arrow, which is a bi-directional arrow. It is showing you, correct?
Oh,
Yes.
You need to click
yeah,
on this. Once you click on this, you will see the portion here, which is coming up here. This particular box will show you all the available columns which are there on the KPI table. Everything it will show up. Point one. Point number two, not necessary that you want to have everything, or you want to have, you may or you may not have every column information that needs to be picked up from the KPI table. Now it's up to you what you can do. But for now, in this example, I want to bring all the information. So what I'll do smartly is there a necessity to bring the restaurant ID from the KPI table?
No, not required.
Because it is the base and we are relying on it. So we don't
Correct.
need to bring the restaurant ID. So I'm unchecking it and then leave everything remain the same. And also below that, do you see there is an option here, use original name as a prefix?
Yes.
What does this
Yeah.
exactly mean? When I click on OK, it will do this way. KPIs dot average cost for two, KPIs dot currency, KPIs dot has table has booking. So it will add prefix the table name in front of the column name. Okay.
Yeah.
Ideally, it will not create any trouble either if you uncheck this as well. If you uncheck, the column headers will remain the same as it is. There is no doubt about it. Unless and until you think in the working table, if there is a same column like that, then in order to make sure you want to create a unique name, then you can use it. Otherwise around, you can just uncheck it. What if there are, what if there are two different columns with the same name in the source and the from table, and you have unchecked? What will happen? For example, let's say votes. Okay. Or let's say as on. If I do this, if I do this, what will happen? It will create one column like as on, which is there. But when you create this column, it will create as on one, as on two, as on three. That is how it keeps doing it. Now see this. Once I click on OK, you will see the column names are added automatically and all the column information is appended towards the right hand side. And as I told you, the
As on
as on
one is
column will be appended with a suffix prefixed with one uh, preceding number, preceding name, sorry, succeeding number, whatever the number it is. Got it?
Yeah. Got it.
See, writing the same VLOOKUP formula in Excel, what you are doing to do, you are writing the 9 different formulas. But here you are not giving all this effort. You are just doing a quick link between two tables and you are selecting how many ever total number of columns you want. At one shot, everything just comes in a one go. This is what we call it as merge queries in Power BI, or let's say Power Query. Easier?
yes, CG.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys understood this method, or is there any difficulty in understanding this method?
Shrikant, yeah, I understood, but I just have a doubt in the KPI. Once you clicked on that arrow button, okay, we
Mhm.
uncheck the restaurant ID. We as well uncheck that last option. So what if it is not if it still stays in the checked this thing? That part I didn't understand.
Okay, so just watch the screen. You guys don't do anything. Suppose, for example, okay, let me remove this and then click on the merge query. Now this is good to go. This is good to go, and then click on OK. Now when I click on this button, and if I check this box and click on OK, now you will see the column header names are coming up with KPIs dot the column name, KPIs dot the column name. This
Okay.
indicate that someone have done the merge query and they are bringing this data from the another table which is called the KPI.
Okay.
As I told you, there is no harm either you check or uncheck. If you want to check, this is how it will be the shown. If you don't want to uncheck, that is how it will show up on the other way around.
Yeah, got it.
Clear?
Yeah.
If you ask me what is recommendable, I usually go with the short name, because the first thing, the column names itself are, if they are big, I'm just adding one more extra addition to that. That's the only point, nothing else.
But one advantage is, like, when we see many columns, we will know, right, that it has come from the KPI table, maybe on that
Absolutely,
perspective.
yes.
Yeah,
You can see that they are coming from different table.
yeah.
Good. So if you have understood this particular concept of merge query, what I wanted to do you is, do you see the country master table here?
Yes.
Right. What I want you to do is, I want the country names. I want these country names to be appearing in the append one table. Okay. I want the country names from the country master table to come onto the append one table and at the end. Okay. That's it. So try giving a give a try and then see if you were able to do it. First thing, identify what is the common thing between append one and the country master. Once you identify, then try to bring in the country names into the append one table accordingly.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, done that.
Good. If you guys have done, allow me to do that as well. Now, so far we are good with append one, and I mean the country master, and we also have done the KPI part, which is absolutely good. Now let's look at the next level of the merge queries. So this is a level one. Let's look at the level two, which is little advanced and intermediate. Do you see the USD converter column table?
Yeah.
Now I want this column, which is called the 2 USD value, 2 USD value appearing onto the append one table. Now, if I want to bring 2 USD value to append one table, I want you guys to tell me what is the column that you are going to rely on.
Continent. Is it continent?
It's okay. You can just tell whatever the answer it is. So you'll rely on the continent column.
So the currency.
Okay. So you will rely on the currency column. Okay. If you do the same exercise in an Excel workbook, what do you do? Do you think the results will be accurate?
No, it wouldn't be accurate.
Any reason?
Reason is, for example, my understanding, I'm just telling my understanding, Asia has at least multiple currencies.
Okay.
Every country has, I mean, every continent has multiple currencies. So we can maybe rely on currency column.
Okay, you can rely on the currency column.
Yeah.
Can we give both?
But again, dollar is also there. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is what exactly. If you are doing or performing the same activity in an Excel file, so what is your call? How do you deal this?
Better we can combine continent and
Good.
currency.
So you'll combine the continent and then currency, and then you will
Yes,
be able to do it. Correct?
correct, correct.
Yeah.
What we call it as concatenation.
Concatenate.
Concatenation, right?
Concatenating the continent and the currency and then making a unique value. And
Yes,
as well, you will also have to do the same thing in the append1 table.
correct.
Then you are going to get the result, right?
Correct.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But here, you don't need to do this kind of concatenation. So just watch the result, what we are going to do. Do it along with me. Select the append1 table because that is where we are going to rely on, or let's say we are going to get the results from. So select the append1 table and then again just do the same thing. Alt H W, sorry, Alt H E. Okay, Alt H E, and then click on the merge queries. So once you click on the merge query, now you have got the append1 table, which is absolutely good. And below this, you are going to select the USD converter table first. And once I select the converter table, what I will see here, you have got the continent and the currency. Now, the same step what I'm going to apply is I'm going to select the region from the top and the continent from the below. So first, these two are matching. No doubt about it. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, what you need to do is hold the control button. Hold the control button on the keyboard. Okay. After you hold the control button on the keyboard, look for the currency column on the top and again select the currency column from the below and release the control button. Now, what do you identify here?
So 1 and 2. First
So it is giving you the
region
series
and
numbers like
Yes,
1
currency.
and 2.
Yeah.
Correct?
Continent
yes,
currency. Yeah.
yes.
So 1 is connected to 1, 2 is connected to 2.
Two.
So interimly, it is creating a connectivity between both the columns. And then once you click on OK, this will automatically give you the result. And from here, the step remains the same by selection of what you require. I'm going to bring only the 2 USD value and click on OK. Now, do you see how much effort you're not actually imposing than compared to an Excel, but you're just doing a bit of change in the methodology that you have to bring in the data will actually give you more accurate result?
That's right.
Yeah.
It saves a lot of effort.
Yeah, so this is called multi-level of merge query. When you are doing multi-level of merge query, it is not just only one column you can rely on. If you have such kind of databases where you can create concatenation values using 3 or 4 different columns as well. So your source table and the two table also should have the same level, and you need to select one column one after each other by using the control button, and that is how it will automatically create the connectivity between both the tables. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now that I have got all the columns, now can you just tell me how many total number of columns are there on the append1 table in your databases?
22.
22.
Perfect. So there are 22 columns which are added, which is perfectly fine. Now that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to convert the data type for each one of the column. For instance, 2 USD, I want to convert this to a decimal number. So I'm just converting it to a decimal number. And then country, let it be the fine, let it be the same, so no problem. And as on, I'm just selecting the date, and votes I'm selecting to a whole number. Aggregate rating, again I'm selecting the decimal number. Or if you want, you can change everything. Now see, for example, I'll do this way, else let me do it this way. I'm removing the change time. See, now this is a place where you have everything sorted, correct? Now I want to change all the data types at one go. For example, now the initially we haven't done, but now I want to change the change type or the data type for all the columns at one go, all the 22 columns at one go. How do I do that? Very simply select one of the column, any one of the column, and then type Control A. All the columns will be selected. Okay. First thing what I did, I am selecting all the columns. Okay. Then Alt. This time I'm going to the Transform tab, which is called T. Okay. Alt T. And then you can see there is a select the data type. There is an option called select data type, which is DD. I'm selecting DD. Alt T DD. This will convert the entire database into a change type automatically. Now, if you look at the data set right now, you will see the country codes, city names, everything had been properly updated, right?
Yeah. So you're using detect data type, right? DD.
Yes, it's a detect data type. Just all for all the columns at one go. If you want to do this, you can use this option called detect data type. Alt T DD. That's a shortcut. Clear so far for everyone?
Yes.
Fantastic. Now I have got enough information to understand well everything. However, there are certain things that we'll just do a bit of understanding on this. Okay. Now let's look at the first one. Earlier we have got different regions of data and we have got different supporting documents, and we have brought everything at one go into one particular table so that our job becomes much easier to do or show some stats. So before I do that, what we will do, why we have brought in the two USD value. For instance, if you look at the USD converter, in general, the worldwide accepted currency is the USD dollar, correct?
Yeah.
So India have a different currency, like you have got a rupee, and again, if you go to Sri Lanka, you will have again Sri Lankan rupee and then Sri Lankan dollar. Again, in United States, you have again three different dollars, right? One is USD dollar, and then Canada, you have Canadian dollar. So you have got different kinds of currencies you have. But isn't it that good that if you are showing all this in single currency, like a simple USD, right? So that is the reason where we have brought the currency converter value. Now, since I have brought the currency converter, now how do I convert this into a proper USD value for the database we have? So where, if you look at the left hand side, there is a price range given. There is a price range given, and there is a aggregate rating given. And also, if you move to the left hand side, there is a option here called the average cost for two, right? So now this average cost for two, we will convert into USD. In order to convert to the USD, what should I do here?
We need to multiply that.
That's it. No much rocket science. You need to multiply it, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So in order to multiply and then bring it into a simple way, how do you can do this? See, now for this case, what I wanted to do is I want to do an add column. Okay, so click on the add column tab, click on the add column tab, and under the add column tab, again under the general group, here again click on the custom column. Add column tab, general group, custom column. Okay, so once I click on the custom column, now here I'm just going to give a column name here called um, in USD. Okay, I'm just saying this in USD. Okay, and then I have to strictly write a formula here. Instead of writing the formula, just see this. When I type here is equal to, on the right hand side, you will see available columns. Okay, so when you quickly scroll down, you will see the first column, which is called average cost for two. Now you have to do this. I double click on this column, average cost for two, which is appearing onto the formula bar. And then I simply type star. I simply type star. And again, when I scroll down a little bit, I will see the last column, which is 2 USD. So I again double click on the 2 USD. Now this is what I have multiplying two different columns, and then click on OK. This will accurately give you a value what we have added right now. However, if you look at the data point is still shown up as ABC123. It is not showing you a proper one. So convert this to a decimal number if you want, or you want to directly convert this to a dollar amount. You can use the second option, which is dollar fixed decimal. So when I click on this, this will give you a proper decimal number, which is added automatically. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Is it going too much heavy? Or you guys are okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That okay doesn't sound so good. That's why I'm asking. ऊपर से संडे है, घर वालों से मिलना है, right? You want to spend your time with your family. You are stuck with this, and it is going too much. If you are getting too much into your head, let me know. Okay, don't worry. I know how to cover the syllabus. But if it is going too much, let me know. All right. If we are good here, then we'll just leave this portion as it is for now. So let's not touch base anything. I'll show you a kind of quick tips on this. Okay. I know we have got two different as on columns. One is here, and another one we have got from the current individual regions as well. Okay. So nothing to worry. If you want to get rid of one of the column here, the easiest way that you can get rid of a column, the easiest way that you can get rid of a column is you will select this column, let's say as on one. If you can select this, okay, you can right click here and then you can just say remove. You can right click on this column and then say remove. This will just remove that particular column and then reduce the burden first. Okay. So now I have got only one column which is called as on date. I've got only one column which is on as on date, which is there coming up from the region side. All right.
Yeah.
Now see how good you are how good you are writing a formula in Excel to extract the month and date in for a particular column, date column?
Yeah, I can do that.
What formula that you would be using?
You can directly put month, then it will take the month from there, and you can put year, and then it will can also give the year also.
If I want the month to be converted into a text format, like June, July, January, February, then what kind of formula that you would be imposing there?
There also formula is available. I have to Google it.
Month of
We'll have to
For
use M,
example,
M
uh,
4 times M.
no. My question is, if I want to extract only the month, but not in the month number, but in a month text. Is it Aditya who attended Prabha's session?
Yes.
Then you should be smart enough to give an answer. Tell me, sir.
Equal to text, then only month. We'll
we
have
can
to.
text of is can use text of option.
Exactly. You can use the formula called text option. Using the text option, you should be able to do it. Correct? But see here how easy it becomes for you in the Power BI. First thing, you need to know that it is in the date format. That's the first option. Okay. After you have this in the text option, what you need to do simply, you have the, again, go to the add column tab on the top, go to the add column tab on the top. Under the add column tab, okay, under from date and time group, add column tab from date and time group. You have an option here called the date, wherein you have multiple options under the date. So if you look at this, it is offering different kinds of data. One is kind of age. Age will be calculated based on today. Okay, as on today from this particular date. Or if you want to extract date only, it is already date, so you don't need to worry about it. If you need only year, you can write the year, or either it can give you only two options, either a year or start of the year or end of the year. Month, if you look at the month, it will give you month, start of the month, end of the month, or days in month, or name of the month. Let's say, for example, if I click on name of the month, you will see that there is a new column added at the very end with the name of the column automatically. See this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Besides this, if you also want a year extracted, again, I'm selecting the same column, add column tab from date and time group, click on the date, and then if I want to extract only the year, I'm selecting the year. So this will add only the year alone. Okay.
Yeah.
Similarly, I will tell you the reason probably in between, not now for this, but what I want you guys to do is select this as on date. Again, click on the add column and select the date. And this time, if you go to the day, if you go to the day, okay, or let's sorry, if you go to this month, okay, go to the month. Now there is an option called the start of month. I want you to select the start of the month. Okay. I want you to select the start of the month. I will tell you the reason and the in between when we are doing the Power BI. I'll tell you why we are doing this, but just do it for now. Okay. So now we have added this month name, year, start of the month. However, just take a look at this. Can someone tell me a difference between what is a transformation and what is an addition? Just in a layman language of English, transformation or addition का मतलब क्या होता है? Like what is the difference between these two?
Addition is simple, probably 2 plus 2 is 4, but transformation means you are showing something differently.
Okay, let's talk in Power BI language. For example, so far what we have done is addition of columns, correct? Addition of columns mean, what does it mean?
We are adding a column.
Perfect. Now see this. I'm selecting the start of the month. I'm selecting the start of the month. This time I'm not going to use add column, but I'm going to go click on the transform, and in the same group, which is date and time column group, under the transform tab, date and column group, I select the date, and then what I'm saying is I'm just extracting only the day. I'm just click on the day. Now what happened? The original value of that particular column, it got disturbed and it was transformed to start of the month. Correct?
Yeah.
You understand what it is happening? This is called transformation. Transformation mean it is not going to disturb your original data. Sorry, it is going to disturb your original data and then do it. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
But again, anyways, I'm just deleting this step, just selecting this step here and then say transform this to a month number. I'll be using transform this to month number. So this is a month number. See this. I click on the transform, okay, and then select this column. Click on the transform, and then on the date part, I have selected the month and selected month. See this. I'm just extracting the month out of it. Month number this time. So addition of column means it is automatically adding a new column. If it is transforming, which means the original column itself is transforming and according to the direction what we are looking out for. Got it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the difference between
Yes.
transformation and addition. So you have to understand either you want to go with a transformation or addition of a new column according to your data set when you're working. But if you look at the transform and add column tabs, most of the options will be the same. Like for example, text column, number column, date and time correction, you will see the same thing here. From text, from number, from date and time. Got it? These options remain same across transform and add column. But if you are using any option under the add column, it will add a new column. If you are using something within the transformation column, it will disturb your original data and then change it. Understood?
Yeah.
So if everything is good, now also see this. Now we have got month name, year, start of the month, which is well and good. Now think, if I delete this particular column here as on date, if I delete the column as on date, do you think those columns what we have created will impact or will not impact? For example, in Excel, there is a date column and you have extracted month name, year, and then month number out of it. And if you have deleted that column, date column there, what does it create an impact? Will the results will be impacted or will not be
Yes.
impacted?
It will be impacted.
It will be impacted.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
The beauty in Power BI is it will not impact. Now see this, when I remove this as on date column right now, right click on this and then remove, you will still see the data what we already have created will not be impacted anywhere. Any reason why?
Probably the source is already here. So
Okay. This is because the data is not actually changing anything. It is getting transformed. That is what exactly I have told you. If you remember the presentation that I have given, in the presentation, what I have told you is transformation and cleaning of the data is important. Now the data is actually transforming into different ways. So we have did this job in the earlier. So these steps are not impacted anywhere. After doing the step, we are removing the data. So the earlier steps will as it is remain the same. There is no doubt about it. So data is just getting transformed. That is the reason where you not show any impact even when you disturb any of the column there.
Yeah.
Understood about this particular kind of data modelings? I mean, this particular portion of the data transformation.
Yes.
All right. Also, what I can show you a few more steps. Okay, a very few steps. Okay, so for instance, if you look at this data here on the city column, okay, if you look at the city on the data on the city column, okay, when I click on the filter of it, now you can see there are datas coming up here. Like you see Abu Dhabi, Agra, Ahmedabad. These are all a kind of city names, which is absolutely fine. But do you see there are certain cities like this where it has Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, or there is Mackay City, Mandalyog, right? Pasai. There is city for certain things and there is city no city for certain things, right?
Yeah.
If I want to get rid of, if I want to get rid of the city, the name city, or let's say the word city in this particular column, how do I do that? Any idea like how do you do it in Excel? What is a shortcut?
We do replace, or
Exactly. What is
we
the shortcut for replace?
control G.
Or you can directly control H also you can do.
There is no control G, it's control H.
H. Ah, okay.
Okay. So I don't say that there is a control H option will work here, but what you can do is you can select the column city, you can select the column city, and then you can replace. How you can replace? Since do I need to have okay, when I when I do this, this option will be available on the transform. Why? Because you are disturbing the original column. Okay, that's a simple sense. You're not adding a new column, you're just replacing that, correct? So you will find that always in the transform. So click on the transform, or you can use a shortcut Alt T, okay, R. When you click on that Alt T R, you will see replace values or replace error. So I'll click on the replace value. So now I'm ready to execute the replace value. However, I have a question to you. I want to disturb this word city. So can I give the city value directly? You know what I'm saying? If I write city here and then say the replace value with nothing, okay? Let's say null value or whatever.
Okay.
Is this the correct option that I'm doing, or is it right? You guys think?
It's correct
Okay,
So it will
everyone agree?
it will
because
keep
it, it
empty
will
space
remove
there.
the city word.
Yeah.
Okay. How about remaining others? Everyone agree? Aditya or Rajesh?
We'll change the other values in the columns as well.
No, that's fine. But is this the right way? Is what my question is. You guys think this is the right way? It's okay. Your answer can be right or wrong. That's fine. If you think this is right, it is right. But if it is wrong, I'll let you know.
I think we'll have to capture Iowa city, then replace it with the Iowa instead of city.
Okay. See, reason why I'm keep on asking, like, do you guys think this is a right thing to do? Because we want to replace the word city, which is absolutely fine. But what will happen if I do it? Just see this. The value is replaced, but for now, you didn't see anything here which is happening. Let's say, for example, I'm just telling you. So when I go down somewhere, okay, Pasai is a city, correct?
Yeah.
So do you think there is a space over here?
Yes, after that, always space would be there.
Yeah, correct.
So what you need to do is little smart. Instead of doing this, you will
Then
have to give
space.
space city and then click on the replace value. What will happen with this? If I click on Pasai, now do you see anything over here, any space or anything?
But how do you know how do there is a space or not?
Looking at your data, that is what you need to have a grip on your data. You didn't understand this, right? You see this one.
Because in Excel you have a, if you put the F2 button, you will see whether there is space or not.
No, no, not required. See, before replacing the value, this is how the original data looks like. Do you see this is called Pasai city and Makai city?
Yes.
If I replace the word city, automatically there will be a space left over, correct? Because there is a space
Yes.
between those two
Understand. Yes.
words.
Understand. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
From there we are coming from. Understood.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Why you can actually replace the word city, and then again what you will do, you will have to apply a trim formula. Instead of one particular step, you are doing two different steps.
Two
But
different
if you
steps.
do it little smart, you are just avoiding another replacement over there or any another step, and you are just doing it within simple one particular way.
Srikant, what if there is two space in between the city? Not in that
Hmm.
particular city. If there is another city where there are two space are there already.
Then you will have to just do it like space city only. You can't apply a kind of a wild card or do anything. Or you think if
Yeah.
it is the same thing, you can use a wild card if required.
Mm-hmm.
Because it depends upon the consistency. For example,
That's right.
if I
Yeah.
replace the value instead of city, if I give question mark and city and replace with that, okay? Now you see this. It is not going away because the wildcards will not work in this.
Yes.
So it's always better to have this in a proper way, only then it should work. Sometimes you will feel Excel is so easy. Sometimes you'll feel, oh no, Power Query is much more easier. But ultimately, what we want to give you the understanding is Power Query is much better. However, when it is better, right? There are certain things where you have to definitely deep dive into that, and only then you will have to work on that. Okay. So
Yeah.
yes, there are certain things you have to just follow.
That's right. You should have some hold on your data itself.
Right. See, maximum, I wouldn't say this entire session will go only on the Power Query. But however, I seriously stress more on the Power Query because this is a first point where your data is going to get a proper transformation and going through a cleaning procedure. This needs to be done very clearly. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is pretty important. All right. So far good. Everyone, like you guys were able to understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have the understanding of what exactly is the Power Query and how we are going to work on that, relay on this, and then you are working on.
Yeah.
Do a control S now. just click on the Control S. Once you click on the Control S, you will see three different options like this called apply, apply later, cancel. Now, till the time you are still on the Power Query screen and you don't want to go to the Power BI screen and you have still things to be worked on the Power Query, you will use this option called the apply later. So once you click on the apply later, it is not going to do anything. Just capture your file and then save it as it is. What will happen if you click on the apply by mistake? Nothing is going to happen. It will take you back to the Power Queries, Power BI screen. But again, you will have to come back to the Power Query screen in order to work, continue your work. That's why there is an option called apply and apply later. Right? So let's just go with a simple recap. Like, uh, I think it's between 10 to 2, right? The timing, I forget sometimes.
Yes, 10 to 2.
Ha. So let's just do a kind of a recap. Now, by this time, you are having a good idea about how to load an Excel file, how to do a kind of small different steps, for example, appending of the data and doing a merge query and doing a bit of tiny cleansing steps and difference between the transformation and the addition of the column and how to extract the dates like month or year or anything, month number or month name and everything. So these are the steps that you have just learned on a high level on the Power Query side for today. So in the next class, what we will do is we will work a bit on the Power Query side, a little bit more tiny steps. And once we are good with that, then I will teach you on the data model. So once we are good at the data model, then we'll talk about the data type. So once the data tables are completed, then we'll concentrate fully on the Power BI visuals only. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Right. So I will draw a line here and then any questions from anyone before I wind it up?
So
Could you
far,
give
no.
us some any exercise activity so that we can try and do something? Is that possible?
Possibility is there that we can do it. You want to, my suggestion is, do you mind to try the same thing with your own data and then see?
Yeah, sure.
Because if I keep giving the data, I mean, for me, anything is fine. You simply show me any data, even seeing that I can let you know. So for me, I have a good knowledge on the database part. So I would request you do it on your data side and then come back with the questions, what you want to do and what you are lacking behind so that I can guide you there.
Yeah, fine.
It becomes a parallel activity.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. All right. So are you happy with the class? Like you guys are okay with the pace and everything? We are absolutely okay.
Yes, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then we'll draw a line here, and then I think the recording will be shared with you guys in by evening. So you can refer to the recording in case if you have any questions, and keep practicing. We'll catch up on the next Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Have a
Perfect.
great day. Rest